It's Wednesday night, and that means it's BRAP time, guys and gals. Welcome back to BRAP, everyone. Look, we have a great show. We got a lot to talk about, and I'm really interested in getting the perspective of both of our guests this evening on a few topics. One topic we'll be discussing is the new Nintendo Switch, which was revealed, but has no 4K. We have Assassin's Creed to become something like Fortnite, apparently. And we have some Sony-related news as it relates to State of Play, or actually more specifically, Deathloop, which is coming up. Sony's going to be doing a deep dive on that. So anyhow. But look, I want to give a big shout out to everyone in the live chat real quick. See some usual suspects here in the live chat, some new faces as well. Please, if you haven't done so already, like, or if you want to dislike, that's fine too. I don't care. And retweet the link in the live chat. So on that note, I do want to go ahead and introduce our esteemed guests this evening. We got a returning guest. We had him on a couple weeks ago, and wanted to get him back on because I think he's really funny, by the way. And he's got great insight into video games and game related topics, but generally just a very entertaining individual, and confuses me with the mooch sometimes. We have returning guest, middle-aged gaming guy. What's going on, Mag? Welcome back to BRAP.
Well, you know what? I'm super excited to be here. You know what? Yes, I was on the show 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, whatever it was, and I had to leave early. But on top of that, about 44 minutes into the show, I had a blackout. So imagine me in the basement of my PC and everything's pitch black. I'm scared to death. But anyways, guess what? I'm here tonight. Hopefully there won't be any bloody blackouts, but I'll tell you something. Anybody in the chat or on the panel who doesn't know me, I am not Mooch. I yell like him, I sound like him, but guess what? I'm older than him. Therefore, I've been screaming longer than he has. He's just been on YouTube longer. But anyways, enough jokes. But listen, guys, we got a hell of a great show tonight. I am fired up. I am spicy. I am full of piss and vinegar about these topics. Let me tell you something. Let's get right into the show.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Middle-aged gaming guy, thank you again. Or Mag, as we refer to you as. Thank you for coming
just
back
call
on,
me Mag.
man.
That's it.
We'll
nice and
Mag,
simple.
Yeah, appreciate you coming back on. And then we have a returning guest, somebody who I joke around with being an industry insider, but he really isn't. We have my good buddy here who I've known for many, many years. I was actually an Xbox Live beta tester, for those who don't know. And he was almost one. He came in after, I think, on the first wave of early adapters of Xbox Live. We got OBM, one bad mother. OBM, what's going on, man?
I am good, man. Thanks for having me here again. You know, it's kind of funny, growing up, I remember when you think of impersonators, you think of Elvis impersonators. Who would have thought we'd get to the day where we had Mooch impersonators? So it's a pleasure being on the show with one of them today.
Take it easy.
It's also good to start the show without, coming in hot like I did, the last time. You're not swearing at people in the chat. So hopefully this will be an easy and smooth evening, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, no, it should. I think it should be a easy and smooth evening. And then anyhow, great to see you back on OBM. And then we got my man B Money 101. B, what is going on, sir?
Oh, not much, man. I actually just woke up, so
nice.
Made it here just in time for BRAP to get going out. So let's get to it.
Hey, it's a great way to wake up, right? A little podcast, wake up, a little podcast, It's good stuff, man.
Yes,
great to see you here, B. And then we got the gentleman who's really kind of the, again, voice of reason of the community. Somebody who I had the pleasure of doing Crossfire with last Friday. And again, I thought was the voice of reason of Crossfire. We got Mr. Eric Jackson, everybody. What's up, E?
What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing tonight? Yo, that gets tested often.
People want, people want to test you, man. They want to test your mantle, sir.
You know what's funny is like when you kind of say something, you come back at somebody. The first thing people do, and I never understand how people can tell what your demeanor is over text. But when someone doesn't like the answer that you give, and you kind of come back and say, "Hey, it is what it is. Take care." Why are you getting mad? It's like you can tell I'm mad. Just from the way I typed, did I type angry? Was it all caps? Was it all exclamation points? Never understood that. But hey, it is what it is.
Yeah,
People
no,
goofy.
Yeah, no, it's funny. I noticed that people have been trying to I what's that word? Unhinged, get you unhinged or whatever.
But that's not gonna. Maybe I have too many real life issues to let like social media gaming stuff like unhinge me. Like I'm just it's just not in my code to do that. And the thing is, if you come back like disrespectful and stupid, then the conversation's done. Just like I wouldn't anybody in life. I wouldn't sit in the parking lot of a store going back and forth with somebody.
You know what it is?
Why
They
would I
want
do it
you
on social media.
They want you to engage them because they're looking for a fight.
Right.
And then if you turn your back on it, be like, nah, it's not worth it. You know what it is? That makes them more angry. And trust me, I know from going to the bars in the old days when I was in the restaurant business, we used to go to the bar 7 days a week. Let me tell you something, how many bar fights I almost got into. You know what I always did? I'm like, dude, you seem a little stressed, man. Let me buy you a drink. Mm-hmm. And then that enraged them to like the point where they wanted to kill me, not fight me anymore. Right? So, yeah, I understand what you're saying, brother.
Yeah, the minute you say, all right, take care, and you're done with them, it pisses them off more, like, you know, and then it's like they do whatever they can to get you to come back. It's like, dude,
that's right.
Relax. Well, I love when they just come back like, why are you getting triggered, man? Relax. And it's like, you came into my reply. I didn't come looking for you. You came to engage. I gave you a response. You don't like it. Sorry. I don't know what to tell you, you know?
Yeah, no, I mean,
it is what it is.
It is what it is, man. I mean, some people take this shit like it's real life, man. I'm telling you. Like sometimes I wish, God, I wish I had
like
your
dogmatic
problems.
to them, man.
Yeah, sometimes I wish I had their problems. You know, I wish that the biggest issue I had in my life was what Xbox is doing or not doing, or what PlayStation's doing, not doing, things like that. You know. So anyhow, I do want to dive into some topics here, some game related topics. You know, Mag, I kind of want to jump into this Nintendo thing, but I feel like I should save that for a little bit later because I know you have a lot to say.
I'm already upset now, so you might as well just make me more upset. It's fine.
Just get it going.
Yeah.
Well, it's up to you, brother. It doesn't matter. But the fire's not dying, okay? The fire's not dying. You could hit me in an hour from now, but the same topic, I'm spitting the same fire, okay? Because oh my God. I'm just, if you heard me last night with Noof Nukem or anything like that, or Titan Drago last night, I went off for about 25 straight minutes without even taking a breath. I'm not doing that tonight, okay? But I'm just telling you. So anyway, hit me up anytime, brother.
Yeah, well, I think we're gonna hold off. I think because maybe build up to that topic, you know. But I do want to talk about the news of Assassin's Creed Infinity. Well, it's the Assassin's Creed Infinity project. This is something that broke today. Jason Schreier actually broke this earlier, bright and early at 7 a.m. I might add. He broke this news piece that Assassin's Creed Infinity Project seeks to emulate the financial success of some games such as Grand Theft Auto 5 and Fortnite. And essentially, what Ubisoft is trying to do is they're trying to make Assassin's Creed create this massive online platform that just evolves over time. And, you know, obviously where they can keep people engaged and microtransactions and things like that. This open world, similar again to the GTA 5 and Assassin's Creed. And I'm not surprised by this because I believe that, I think on a recent earnings call or something, or I don't remember what it was. There was maybe it was a conference or something Ubisoft had. They talked about trying to kind of create take a lot of their more popular franchises and maybe focus more on games as a service type platforms or games, if you will. They already have some of those in their arsenal or in their catalog of games. But you look at Assassin's Creed. I think it's sold about since 2007. The franchise has sold more than 155 million units. I mean, that's just huge. But again, they're trying to pivot here. They're trying to make this game kind of a games as a service, or very similar to what we see with Grand Theft Auto 5, which, as we all know, prints a shitload of money for Take-Two Interactive. Like billions, right? With a B. So when I heard this news, I got to say, I can't say that I was very excited about this. I don't want to see Assassin's Creed maybe go this way, but I don't know. Part of me is like, well, let me see what it evolves to. Let me see what Ubisoft has planned. Again, we don't know. They really haven't shown anything yet. They really haven't talked too much about it or gone into depth into what this is going to look like. But at least on the surface, for me at least, this might not be something I'm interested in with regards to Assassin's Creed. But Mag, I want to go to you first. What are your thoughts about this, man? Are you intrigued, or are you kind of like, you know what? Nah, this shit's not for me.
Well, first of all, as long as I don't have to see Kratos or like Ezio doing the floss, then I'm all good, okay? Then we're not dealing with this Fortnite. Okay? As long as I don't have to see that or dancing to like Dua Lipa, then we're okay.
You don't want to see them taking their ass for cash?
Let me tell you something, and I did, you know what? And I'm just gonna say, because I play Fortnite with my son. Okay, that's the only time I play it. I play it with my son. He's only 8, but I'll tell you one thing: I did spend the $25, and I got Kratos, and I got that Dua Lipa song. You should see him dance to that shit. Oh, it's amazing.
My God, man.
It is fantastic. He knows how to shake it. Let me tell you. But anyways, on to the subject at hand. I don't think that this is that big of a deal. And now the reason why I don't think it's that big of a deal, because this is not going to be a main streamlined game. Okay, this is not part of the series. Okay, I think that this is an experiment that they're going to work. That it comes across as like a beta idea, right? I don't think this is going to be, this is the continuation of the Assassin's Creed story. I think that this is going to be its own thing. Kind of like how Call of Duty has Warzone, right? You got Call of Duty, they have all the streamlined games, all the ones, you got your Modern Warfares, you got your Cold Wars, blah, 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 right? And it goes on down the list. And then Warzone is its own entity, right? So it's going to stay out of there. So big-time fans of Assassin's Creed, like myself, and I got to tell you, I've gotten 100%, because I'm a completionist kind of gamer, right? I've changed over from just strictly hunting trophies and achievements just for the numbers. Now I just go for the 100% completion before I move on to the next one. I have 100% completed every single Assassin's Creed game that's ever come out, and that is a fact. Wow. Including the last one I did was Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I got 1850 out of 1850 achievements. I am now working on Valhalla. Okay, so I'm a huge Assassin's Creed fan. That's what I'm trying to get at. Okay, but the point is this. I'm not worried because this is going to be its own thing. If I dabble, I'll dabble. I have a distinct feeling that this is going to be a free-to-play game entirely. Okay, and it's going to be something that you could jump in and maybe you could buy, you could buy the Ezio skin, or you could buy the Cassandra skin from Odyssey, or even Eivor from Valhalla. You could buy like that for like $5-10 or something. Maybe it'll come with like a few, maybe like half a dozen, predetermined characters kind of thing. And then from there, they'll branch out. Even the guy from Origins, Bayek from Origins, right? I can't believe I remember all their names, but I love the series. But anyways, yeah, maybe you could buy Bayek for like $10 or something, right? But the game I think is going to be free, and they're just gonna like you said, the Fortnite, Apex Legends, the Warzone model, okay, free to play download, and then you could buy cosmetics and whatever else to enhance your experience to however you like. That's why it doesn't bother me, because it's going to be a choice. Okay, and the thing is, once again, it's not going to be part, I believe 100% it's not going to be part of the main series. Therefore, I'm not worried. Okay, because if I want to dive in there, I'll check it out for a bit. If it's not my bag, I'm going to walk away. Okay, I'm just going to walk away from being like, all right, cool, I'll just wait for the next whatever it's going to be called. Whether it's going to be like Assassin's Creed Japan, which I doubt they're going to do because you don't want to go up against Ghost of Tsushima. That kind of thing, or whatever they're gonna do. Okay, so they'll go do their own thing with the main storylines and all that kind of stuff. Keep their big open world RPG style games. Those are still gonna come out, not next year, not the year after. I'm hearing it could be as late as 2023. I am a game tester for Ubisoft, just for full transparency. However, the stuff that I've been looking at, I'm not allowed to talk about. Okay, but what I'm hearing is that it could be at least another 2 years away before we get another mainstreamed Assassin's Creed game. They're going to let it breathe for a little bit. And what they are going to do is for this year and next year, they're going to continue to release DLC for Valhalla with big expansions. Okay, so it's going to be like a miniature Destiny kind of thing for the next few years. Anyways, that's a whole other story. So yeah, so you know what? I'm interested. I'm going to check it out. I'm not going to not check it out. However, I will absolutely not check it out if it's going to be behind a paywall. Okay, I think that the way that they've designed this is that it's absolutely going to be a free-to-play model. And if it's behind any kind of paywall, I won't touch it unless the reviews and user reviews, I mean, like people in the community, people on YouTube, people in the chat, whatever, if they're saying, guys, this game is awesome, you got to check it out, then I'll be intrigued, right? But until that time comes, I'm not going to touch it. I'll let it do its thing. I'm not going to get angry. There's a lot of people really angry and pissed off about it. I don't know why. I mean, it's not like they came and like, pillaged your home. Like, leave them alone. Everybody's like, Ubisoft needs to die. I've seen stuff like that on Twitter today, and I'm like, guys, just chill out, man. Let them do their thing. If you don't want it, don't buy it. Like, you get mad when you walk by the clothing store and they got a pair of pants in the window you don't like. Do you want the store to close?
All the time.
Okay, do you go into the store and say, you guys need to shut down?
Yeah,
I don't want these pants.
And then I tackle the dummy the pants are on.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you see like how asinine it is? It's unbelievable. It's just like, guys, let Ubisoft do their thing. All right? If you don't want it, move along. All right? And move on to the next thing. But as for me, I'm going to I'm going to sit back and I'm going to check it out and see how it plays out. No pun intended. And then we'll see how the community reacts. And then maybe I'll bite depending on how people are, feeling about it or whatever. However, once again, if it's free to play, I will definitely dive in and take a look.
Yeah, that's you know what? That's well said, Mag. I mean, I did see some of the people, screaming at the top of their lungs, like death to Ubisoft. I'm not there.
Ridiculous.
That's a little.
People are cheering
extreme.
in the streets for Far Cry 6.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the same company. You guys know that, right? The people screaming about it. It's the same company. You want the death to Ubisoft, and everybody's hyped for Far Cry 6. Yeah. And I'm like, guys, just because they're doing this, what are you talking about here? You know what I mean? Like, just take it easy with your emotions, relax a little bit. And I know that sounds ridiculous coming from me. Just let them do what they're gonna do. And if it's not your thing, move on. There's gonna be plenty to play.
Yeah. No, that's a great point. And again, I mean, I think obviously I can understand people being disappointed if this is their favorite franchise. Maybe this is the direction they want to see it going, but to take it that level, to dial it up, to a 10. Everyone just come down to maybe a 5, OBM, what are your thoughts, man? What did you think about this announcement?
Well, first of all, I think I'm going to probably stay in the same lane your entire show today. So it does feel like it's going to go with the same theme about everybody freaking settle down. Maybe we need another, I thought one of the positive things that might have come out of like the pandemic and like the world being on fire is that people would come out of this a little more perspective, but apparently not. But yeah, I think that theme, the fact that that there's options, I think people keep forgetting about that stuff because if any of these lanes aren't for you, there's just so many other things. I'll be honest, like I've moved on from Ubisoft. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Games. I did pick up Valhalla. I put 10 hours in, and then I realized I was going to be doing the same thing for another 70, and so I just uninstalled it. But that's just me. I know some people really, really enjoy that. They like these big games. They like to just kind of grind and do things. Maybe put on a podcast and grind all day, and they have that time. I like to get a little bit more variety into my gaming diet. So these games generally that try to take all my time, unless it's Halo, I usually don't do it. But yeah, I mean, when you kind of, I think what a more interesting take is when you kind of look at these AAA companies, they're all doing really, really similar things over the last few years. And I always find I like to come back to this because, we've been, it's speaking about like people on Twitter kind of, being overly dramatic about everything. When somebody says, hey, I'm not buying this game, I'm not, spending money on this because I'm playing on Game Pass, or I'm doing this, or I'm playing a free to play thing. It's like, and people, you see a lot of perspectives or opinions about how that's going to, destroy the industry. The truth is, this is what the industry's been for the last few years. If you really look back at like all the big publishers, the last 3 to 5 years, they've kind of been making the same stuff. There's like 4 different genres, and usually once they find something that works, these big publishers stick with that formula, and then if they do diversify, it's into another really proven formula, and that's what they're doing. They're moving. They've seen success with, they've had experience with Division 2. They see where the market is. They see where they see that that's really the way that AAA is going. Like AAA is kind of you're a platform now. You're not making these 20-hour to 40-hour experiences, and those are going to require other types of business models. So I think support. I think a lot of that's going to come from the indie sector, and things like that. But so like when I see stuff like this, like again, I just turn right back into what I said earlier. There's so many options these days. Like people aren't really paying attention to, I think, the indie scene that's filling a lot of these voids that the old Ubisoft, the old EA kind of used to fill with those, 20, 30 hour single player games. A lot of that stuff's coming back, but it's just not coming back from the big mega corporations who've got a board of directors that want to make, jillions of dollars. They want to make more than they used to make. So we just kind of got to accept that. We got to accept that Ubisoft is not that company anymore. Neither is EA. They might, throw us a bone here or there, but that's not where the bulk of their profits are going to come from. And but there's a lot of other options. So I just don't really see the point in wasting a lot of energy crying about it. It's just like I got other things there's a lot of other great things to spend my energy on that appeal to what I'm looking for. So it doesn't have to come from the same company it used to, And, that's where I stand on that. And I think that sort of philosophy is probably going to stay consistent for all our topics today.
Yeah. Thank you for that, OBM. By the way, it's a great point about indies kind of filling that void. I could certainly see that. I think we're seeing that with some smaller studios. But Eric, B Money, please, gentlemen, chime in. What are your thoughts about this move for the Assassin's Creed franchise?
You want to go ahead, B?
I think B fell back asleep.
Man, this is how I feel about it. It's it is what it is. Ubisoft is trash now, and they're just not good. But all I care about is NBA 2K. It's NBA 2K coming out every year.
Oh my God!
That's all I need is NBA 2K. So you guys let me know when the topic is about NBA 2K, and then I'm just going to chill in the back.
It's actually a pretty funny impersonation of B Money, but B actually just woke up. Maybe I don't know what happened, but Eric, if you want to chime in, and then maybe Slow Mo and Gaming Forte, if you guys want to chime in as well. But go ahead, because I know you chimed in real quick. So
yeah, I was gonna say I'm kind of on the same page as like OBM. I've noticed over like the last few years, like Ubisoft used to be like a go-to for me as far as like the games and things like that. And even like I was still kind of rocking with it even before like Assassin's Creed kind of started making the shift that it's made from, I think Syndicate being like the last of the traditional Assassin's Creed that we knew from past generations. But as I was playing through Origins, I mean I like Origins a lot, but my gaming time and everything else has changed so much. Sorry if you guys are hearing fireworks. These assholes are still going over here.
Man, are they still popping fireworks off?
I don't know where these dudes get all this money from.
Did you tell them it's July 7th?
Oh man, they took yesterday off.
What?
They took yesterday off.
Let me tell you, man.
You hear this? Are you hearing this?
Yeah, I can hear it, bro.
It's Independence Day. Oh, the second one.
It's like
the second one.
House, man.
Bro, what is like? It's
wow. Like Beirut over here.
He didn't say he was like Beirut. It's funny.
Dude, crazy man. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. That might be my people, bro. I ain't gonna lie, man.
I don't know, man. I'm just like, I know like fireworks aren't the like cheapest thing. I mean, and the stuff that they're using, they're like auditioning to take over for Disney World.
Hey, let me tell you something. You don't understand my Latino brethren, man. We get a couple Coronas in us, and we just start popping off fireworks.
Light it up.
Look, man,
I rent, but you got fireworks.
And I'm speaking from experience, man, because I had family members that did that shit. So I'm just saying. But go ahead,
You
Eve.
you got some family members with no fingers.
I have some family members that came close to losing fingers for sure, man. Like, you know, they have Marlboro hanging out of their mouth. They're lighting up fireworks, bottle rockets with Marlboro cigarettes. Like, what do you guys do? Like, how is that even smart?
Yeah,
Holding up like a bottle rocket to your mouth with a cigarette to light it up. Like, that's real smart, right?
Put in the bottle rocket in the beer they just finished.
Yeah, right. No, exactly. It's like, oh, let me finish my beer, light it up with a cigarette. Here we go. You know.
Oh man.
I had a couple uncles like that. I'm not even making this shit up, man. It's true. But go ahead, Eve. Sorry, man.
We'll try to get through this. The festivities are continuing over.
They're celebrating BRAP. That's what it is. It's a celebration. I'm Rick James. Okay, go ahead, man. Jeez, it's really loud. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
These are just our Wednesday fireworks.
Dang, man, they got. Man, they done found all those fire cushions. They found all that stuff in their couch cookings.
They got the grand finale going on.
You ever get those neighbors when you
man.
watch them on these holidays and they're blowing this thing up for like an hour and I'm screaming out the back door? I'm like, where do you get the money?
Right.
That's like $6,000 I just watched.
Yo,
And they just
man,
keep
I'm telling
going.
you, man.
And they don't even have like the supermarket fireworks. They got the
They
fireworks.
get the big
No,
ones.
I'm telling you, man. These guys back here are doing like WWE pyrotechnics, like the stuff that you see at Disney World, like when you're.
I was just about to say
That's what they're
Disney
doing
World.
Hey, who do you-
Go out the back door with a speaker and start blasting like Little Mermaid song or something really loud while that thing's going
Under
on.
the
And you
sea.
can go to Disney World for free. There you go. You'd have
Under
to pay
the sea.
$400 to go.
Dude, man, they've been.
Just go out there and
you know,
start playing
man,
blasting
for
in
real, I'm
Small
like,
World.
My big question is where they getting the dough for, because they've been going. They have
It
been
is
going for 2 weeks
crazy.
before 4th of July.
It is crazy. I literally watch each explosion. I'm like, that's 500. There's 400. That's 300.
Right.
I'm like, you're at $3,000 already. How?
Hey,
I know what you do for a living. Where did you get this money?
Are the fireworks spelling out names? That's when you know they get real expensive, right?
Oh man. No, nothing like that as far as I know. Anyway, what was that? Assassin's Creed. I'm just saying. I'm with OBM. Like, the further I go along, the less I'm caring about Ubisoft games, because they're just not really like the thing that I can really sink too much time into. And I finished Origins. That took me a good amount of time. I haven't even started Odyssey, and I didn't even pick up Valhalla because I didn't start Odyssey. I have Odyssey, but I'm just like, it's a bit too much. But I say that to say this. But I say that to say, no, this is not a jump off the deep end scenario. Like, this is one of those things. Like, we don't have enough information on it, so you need to know a little bit more before jumping off the deep end. Interesting though that Meg, you stated that they're still gonna do like the traditional long form Assassin's Creed along with this.
Yes.
You think? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. That's still going to go on. This is, like I was saying before, this is kind of like a Warzone situation.
Mhm.
So it's gonna be completely unaffected by the main series line, right? Like, for example, you've got whatever Call of Duty's coming out this year. We don't know yet. And then Warzone's going to keep doing its own thing. So this is going to be its own entity. It's going to exist on its own. It's not going to be part of the mainline story.
So it's like almost like the Assassin's Creed Call of Duty edition type thing.
Exactly. It's going to be like, AC Warzone.
Gotcha.
What's AC
I
Warzone
said
gonna
in
be?
that. Well, I say that in that, like, several games, settings, and eras. Like, if they kind of do like little episodic things or little like vignette type stories, that could be interesting. Like, that might be something I might actually be interested in. Like, I can kind of jump in. Hey, this month we're featuring an Ezio story, or this month, like you said, we're featuring a Bayek story, or something like that. That could be cool because they can kind of go back and play with all the lineage in that, and add new characters as well and a new assassin. So that could be interesting. But like I said, I'm not off the deep end about it. I'm just looking for anything right now for Ubi to kind of give me something. I'm like, okay, you're kind of talking to me right now.
Ubisoft is just chasing trends at this point.
Oh, wait,
And all
real
their
quick,
thought-
slow-mo. Got to give you guys a proper intro. What a big shout out to Welcome to Forte, slow-mo. Go ahead, man.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, they're just, how they had all that talk last year when they were dealing with their many controversies about how they treat their employees and women in general.
They're still
And-
dealing with it, apparently, slow-mo.
Yeah, they're still dealing with it because they thought they could just, publicly talk about, everything they were going to do, and then privately still allow some of those people who somehow, of course, tend to be good friends with the CEO and the family that runs Ubisoft to just continue on in the roles that they're in without very much any repercussions for their actions and the things they've done in the past, but whatever, right? But it seems like all their talk about our games are changing now. And it is true, they are changing, but just not in the ways that anybody thought they would be changing or anybody wanted them to change. When we heard they weren't going to be limiting the creativity of their developers with forcing them to do the same old open world, go here, go to this tower, unveil all these side missions, rinse and complete, fight the mini boss, that nonsense, that they were going to actually start doing something unique and different. People actually thought they would get a Splinter Cell game, right? Now, here we are a year later, and what they're doing differently is that they're just chasing what's hot now. What makes the most money? Ongoing games, ongoing live service games, free-to-play games. They took the Division, what the Division was, a looter shooter, and they turned it into a live service scavengers game. That's what they're doing. All the stuff that people liked about the Division, the drones, the sticky bombs, all the high-tech stuff.
Bombs.
You don't have any of that in that game. And that Division Heartland has none of that crap. So it's just like, so who is this for? Because it clearly isn't for the Division fan. It's for other people. Assassin's Creed is the same. Assassin's Creed is their highest sold IP. They sell the most out of Assassin's Creed lifetime sales are up there with Grand Theft Auto 5. But yet that game has no identity whatsoever anymore. It started out as a stealth game, then it became an open world RPG. Now what is it? We don't know really. Like, we're here guessing what this next Assassin's Creed Infinity is going to be, but we really don't know. You're not going to know until they show it. But what we do know is whatever's hot right now is going to be what that game is. They just chase trends, and they take their IP and they just they go with whatever trend is hot, and then they give it a skin of their most popular IP, and there you have it. There's Ubisoft. And it's unfortunate, especially for people who love the iconic properties that they've had over the years. But it is what it is. They took Ghost Recon and tried to turn that into a looter shooter with Breakpoint. It's like they have no shame.
They have no shame.
It kind of lends itself so much to like.
Yeah, they've been doing that for a while though.
Yeah. But it's kind of like, it lends itself to things that we've heard, where it's like the reason we have not seen Splinter Cell is because they have not figured out how to monetize it.
Yeah, right.
Right. Yeah, and that's
yep. Go ahead, B. My bad.
That's the thing for me. Like, when I saw the post this morning, like it was a little bit of a disappointment because the recurring revenue games is what's popular right now. Rockstar kind of made it, and Rockstar and Take-Two made it a pretty big thing with GTA Online, and then Epic turned Fortnite into what it is today. And the trend has continued to go on from all the big publishers. So this is just Ubisoft kind of falling in line. They've been doing it for a while. They did it with Ghost Recon and Rainbow Six. They totally turned those franchises into recurring revenue games. And now they're just taking their biggest IPs and doing the same thing. I've fallen off of Assassin's Creed. Like, the first 2 or 3 games were like some of my favorite games. They, story-driven games, action games. And then once they start to evolve it into an RPG and make it more of a grind fest, it wasn't for me anymore. So I just kind of fell off of it. But when I saw this post, I just immediately thought of Assassin's Creed Unity and like what that could have been. And then, what they've learned over time and kind of applied that to what this game could be. So if there's a lot of things that they could do with it, but until they give us more information, it's kind of hard to say exactly what we'll get.
Yeah, that's a great point, B. And I think I guess the other thing I thought of too is, are we ever going to get another Splinter Cell? And I just think that's probably never going to happen at this point, unless they could figure out, I think, how to do a Splinter Cell that's kind of open world, or maybe Splinter Cell Infinity, where, I mean, they have a Warzone type thing. I don't know. I just don't think we're ever going to get Splinter Cell.
They had one that was almost complete, but they did scrap it.
Yeah, no, they did. Yeah,
that is a fact, and that was supposed to be. I think that was like 3 or 4 years ago, or 3 years ago, I think it was. And they had one that was almost finished, and it didn't. Well, I don't know exactly why it got canceled. I just know that they scrapped it. So I don't know if someone else mentioned it might have been maybe to find a way to monetize it. I'm not sure. But then there's also the possibility of that maybe they're like, this is not going to live up to people's expectations because they've been waiting so long for this. It's kind of like a Star Wars movie. Like the Star Wars movies, like 26 years between each one. Everybody builds up in their mind that it's going to be the second coming of Christ. And then they sit down and they're like, oh, it's a movie. And it doesn't live up to their expectations. So maybe that happened, but I can't say for sure. But they did have one almost done, and they scrapped it and don't know if they're starting it again.
That's a damn shame. I want to Splinter Cell so bad. I mean, like that, even like if you think about multiplayer, the multiplayer component of Splinter Cell was actually not bad. The Spies vs. Mercs,
it was pretty. It wasn't bad. I mean, it was, wasn't great, but I mean, it wasn't like horrible. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
It was a decent multiplayer. Like I remember. Well, I haven't played Spies vs. Mercs since I don't know, probably it's been a long time. But the premise of it I thought was actually pretty cool. So it just doesn't seem like we're going to get those kinds of games. And I think to OBM's point, we're going to see, I think, smaller developers kind of fill those gaps at these maybe larger publishers. Focus on making games that, look, I mean, for better or worse, can make them reoccurring revenue, right? I mean, if you can make reoccurring revenue, why would you take the financial risk of, we know how big these AAA budgets are. Why take the financial risk if you can kind of just keep pumping out content the way GTA is? I mean, how much money has Take-Two really put back into GTA 5? And they're making that company billions of dollars. Look at Fortnite. That free to play. Go ahead, Fortnite.
No, but the thing is, the games you're talking about have proven that their content is kind of worth it to an extent for some people. It's like when I listen to this and they're trying to it's like they want to be a part of the 2K, EA, and Rockstar bundle when it comes to like, oh, we want our game to persist forever. Like I just found out today, I didn't even know Assassin's Creed had level. Like I knew they had levels and stuff, but I didn't know it went as high as it does. And it was because of the in-game stuff. And I'm like, who wants to play Assassin's Creed like that? But I guess that's why they're going in this direction, because there's a lot of people that kind of love that atmosphere, that world. And it goes back to what Slomo said. They try to stick around what's relevant and they put that in their games. That's why a lot of the like Far Cry games kind of have messaging that is kind of put around what's going on in today's world and stuff like that. So it could kind of go to what other people are actually thinking about what's actually going on. I just think that at a certain point, there's too many games out here to play as it is already. And I don't need another game that's going to have me go down a hamster wheel. Like I said earlier today when I was talking to Slomo, I was like, I already got a game for that. And a lot of other people got.
That's the only game that you play, Forte, I might add.
No, I'm playing Scarlet Nexus, sir. Playing that too. So.
Do you really play Scarlet Nexus? I want to confirm this.
He has.
I put 2 hours
I did
in
actually see.
Okay.
See him on there. Yeah, I was shocked.
Slomo, do you confirm this?
Slomo, do you confirm? Xbox Live was broken.
Oh, what you saw me on Xbox Live playing Scarlet Nexus today?
I thought Xbox Live was broken.
Like, oh my god! It's like, I'm gonna call Xbox right now.
Because Slomo's always saying that you only play one game. That's why I asked the question.
Well, no, I do only play one game for the most part. But when you got a game that's as great as Scarlet Nexus is, it makes you want to kind of play that too. So,
yeah.
But I just think a lot of people are, tired, especially like the hardcore. We're kind of tired of this narrative where everything has to be this everlasting, long-going game. Every game doesn't have to be that, but until people vote with their wallet and stop spending all their time in these games like they've been doing, you're going to continue to keep seeing this.
Yeah,
the thing is, Forte, is like, I don't think those games target the hardcore.
They don't. They just get hardcore in. Yeah.
Yeah, they directly target the casual market and the people that they can grab in and get excited about skins and the nonsense that they sell on there. Those games aren't targeted at the hardcore market. At least I don't think so.
They might include the hardcore, but yeah, they're looking to target a wide, like they're trying to cast giant nets with these games, and so
Right.
you do have to monetize the casual market if you're going to, or the mainstream if you're going to make those kind of games. And I think the thing that you got to remember, like all these are all big corporations now. This isn't like it was 20 years ago where it felt like, you know, a lot of our favorite games.
Nintendo just said, "Hold my beer." By the way, OBM.
But, yeah, we'll get
into that later. We'll get into that later.
Yeah, you know, a lot of these
Mac's favorite company.
You know, a lot of them since back in the day, since like 20 years ago when we were playing. I mean, a lot of them have gone public. They're now worth, you know, these aren't companies that are worth millions. They're now worth like tens of billions. You know, Ubisoft's in that category. They're data driven. They do market research. They got a board of investors, and they're just going to look to say it's not about just something being profitable. Like Splinter Cell could probably be profitable, but it's like an opportunity cost. They're looking, and they also know if they can hit a grand slam, that could be worth 10 Splinter Cells, right? And so that's what they're looking for. And you see that it's not just a Ubisoft thing. And I keep changing the way I say that, by the way. I don't know how to pronounce it. But you saw, you know, WB, before they did this whole thing with Discovery, we're talking about like pivoting into that area. And we already saw that with Rocksteady making one of those kind of games. We saw it with Square Enix and you know, with Crystal Dynamics making that, you know, a really average Avengers game, and then there's rumors that Eidos Montreal is doing something similar. It's where, like, when all these guys, they're looking at the same data and they're going to chase the same trend. So that's why, you know, I've mentioned it before in other shows. That's why I keep coming back to like this indie thing and why that's so exciting for gaming, because those guys are getting empowered. They are going to be able to fill in a lot of these gaps. I've talked to developers that keep saying, you know, like those games like Splinter Cell, you're going to see a lot. You know, Forte just talked about Scarlet Nexus. That's not a mega uber budget game, right? You're going to see a lot more stuff like that coming from developers you never heard of, and that's what's really cool. And that's one of the reasons I just don't freak out about it. Now, there is a hope, I think, with like somebody like Ubisoft, if they can figure out how to find a lane in the subscription area, that would probably propel them to come up with some other, you know, content that they can deliver new games more quickly, instead of just, if you have just one big game like a Fortnite or a Warzone, you don't need a subscription for that. So some of these other single player games could make a comeback, and that's another, you know, thing, another topic probably for another show. I won't try to derail us with Game Pass today, but that's something to consider. So that's one of the reasons why, again, there's a lot of exciting things going on. But if you are fixated on the traditional model and like, let's not ruin the $70 game, that thing has already been ruined. You know, in terms of what the hardcore want, you know, because that's been ruined by, and I say ruined in quotes. They're looking at the Fortnite, the Warzones, they're looking at Destinies, and that's really you know, where the focus is right now from the biggest companies in gaming.
Yeah, that's a great point there, OBM. Anyone has any thoughts before we wrap up this topic with Assassin's Creed? Any additional thoughts?
Vote with your wallet, people. If you don't want this, don't buy it.
Well,
you know what, though? Valhalla was the highest selling Assassin's Creed they've ever had in the history of the game.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's that.
There's that.
So, I mean,
yeah,
you know, like some people are not happy with whatever, but at the same time, you know, someone's buying them.
They are.
Right?
Yes.
So, I mean,
yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's a great point, man. Someone wants these large, expansive worlds where they can just get lost in and have all these options to do things with their characters.
I adore them. I actually, funny enough, and like I said, I know I said it about 20 minutes ago, but I complete every Assassin's Creed to 100% from the very first one all the way back on the 360, all the way till now. I mean, I'm working on the Valhalla now, but the thing is, I actually enjoyed the changeover to that RPG, that action RPG kind of thing, right? Because you could still do. Yeah, I see some people in the chat, by the way. They're like, "Oh, yeah, no, the stealth is gone." Well, the stealth is not gone. It's still there. You just have to you have the options to do it. You can run into you can run into a fort and just start killing everybody, sure, like God of War style, sure. Or you can go sneak around or whatever. But they've certainly taken away some elements, and it makes people unhappy, whatever. But at the same time, it is still, since they changed over to that, those last 3 games are the 3 best selling, and this one is the best one so far. Valhalla, the highest selling Assassin's Creed they've ever released. They're not going to stop. So what I said like earlier, if you're not happy with it, just move on. Don't bitch about it. Just move on. Go to somewhere else. Go play Avowed or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Play God of War Ragnarok. Whatever that makes you happy. Like if you're not satisfied with it, just move on. You know?
Yeah.
Like Forte said, vote with your wallet. Don't buy it. But we are the 20%. The 20% of hardcore. You know, they're not the ones that are calling the shots. Really, if you think about it, it's the 80% of the casuals. They're the one that see all the cool stuff. I want to be a Viking. They go out and they'll go buy something like that, right?
I want to be a Viking.
You know what I'm saying? But if we vote with our wallets, we're not going to make that big of a difference. It's the 80% that nobody hears about. It's the 80% who are not on YouTube, the 80% who are not on Twitter, who are not in this chat right now. And by the way, speaking of which, I can't remember the guy's name now. Baby Bees something or other. Okay, I'm not the fake mooch. Okay, so there it is. It's Bonnie Babies too. He goes, "Where's this fake mooch from?" I'm from right here.
He's a
Sorry,
mooch impersonator,
my system.
not a fake mooch.
I saw the slander in the chat. I had to say something.
Yeah, no, you were not the fake. You were not the fake mooch. No, you were not.
No, I'm a different guy. I'm a different guy. And fucking
Mag.
Mooch and I
You're
are
Mag.
friends. So
Yeah.
and I've been on Crossfire 3 times with him, so it's actually kind of funny. People when actually listen to that show, they're like, "You guys don't sound alike. You just kind of scream a lot." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, it's just we're Italian. That's what we do."
Yeah, I think you guys sound just alike, but that's neither here nor there. But
Is that what that was?
I can tell the difference. I think the cadence is pretty close, but I can tell the difference in.
No, they just yell. They just both yell. That's it.
who's yelling? I can't do it.
That's Italian. You ever been to an Italian house? Yelling is how we talk. Everybody thinks we're arguing, and we're asking you what time it is.
Yeah, they think you.
Is that what happened with my ex-wife? Maybe I misread that, but anyways.
Exactly.
If your ex-wife's Italian, that might be the case. Yeah.
Yeah, she was.
Dude, my wife's Irish. She always thinks I'm yelling at her. I'm like, "Honey, I'm just asking you a question."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Where's the car?" And then she's like, "Stop yelling at me." I'm like, "I'm not. I'm just asking you where the car is."
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, Mac. Look. Latino family, same way, man. Very loud, boisterous.
Christ. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
Hot
get it,
blood,
man.
baby. We got hot blood. It's not our
Yeah,
fault.
I love it. I wouldn't change it for the world, though. I wouldn't change it for the world. We love wine. We love food. We love to yell. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, anyhow, did you guys see? This wasn't a topic, but I got to talk about it because I got a nice little chuckle after watching this video, this ad from Microsoft, the Xbox All Access by the. It's all there, or I swear remix. You guys remember? For those who don't remember, who maybe don't know who All for One is. They are as far as I know, I think they only had one hit. I could be wrong, but I think they only have one hit. So, and it was I Swear. And I don't even know when that song came out. 1994, I think.
1994. I will never forget because it's burned into my mind because I worked at Sam Goody. And
I
it was
swear,
on loop.
Yeah.
By the moon and the stars in the sky. Sing it.
Yeah, it had to
Sing
be
it for
94.
Tate.
I graduated high school in '94, and it was at my prom. They were playing it at my prom.
Right.
Yeah.
That was a
That's
slow
where-
song where you're grabbing the girls' asses and the teacher's giving you shit for it. Yeah.
The teacher's like, no mas.
That song was
Yeah, oh.
trash then. It's trash now.
Yes,
And
that's
Teacher's like,
never
leave
good.
room for the Holy Spirit, kids.
Give room for the Holy Spirit. Oh my God, it's hilarious.
Man.
For what goes on, you get a little too close. Leave room for the Holy Spirit. And they put a hand between you.
Yes. Oh my God. You know, it's so crazy to hear that, but it's so true because I heard that growing up. That's so wow.
Did anybody pull out their Jodeci albums after that, just from the nostalgia?
Now, OBM. If Jodeci would have done that commercial, it's a whole different vibe.
Yeah, Nintendo's got a commercial coming up. It's the song "Poison."
Oh wow, that
Here
girl.
we go.
Bell Biv DeVoe's
console's-
Poison. They're going to be doing this. They're doing the ad for the new Nintendo Switch.
Oh man.
That
Was that
OLED's
the transition?
poison. All right, let's stop. We're not gonna get to no, but anyway. Look, I saw.
Coming from my eyes.
Have you been
So
demonetized by yet?
No, we haven't been demonetized. We might.
Leave you scream.
Forte's trying to hit that high note. Look, I saw this. Okay, so I saw this thing I saw it on Twitter, and I think like everyone else, I was kind of like taken aback. I was like, I think Eric said it, like, who's this for? And I was thinking the same thing, like, who is this for? Like, and it. I mean, I guess I don't know. I mean, I thought it was kind of cheesy. I'm not gonna lie. Kudos to Microsoft for putting it together, but I thought it was kind of cheesy, and it's yeah,
Is Microsoft embracing just themselves in the community. If it's not cheesy, it's not right now. That's how it kind of goes with social media and the way that you portray yourself.
Yeah, I thought it was fun. I mean, it was cheesy, but I think that was the point.
That was the point.
Yeah, that's the Game Pass marketing, and I think people like it. It's just it doesn't take itself as serious. So
yeah,
and I liked it. So, but I was a 90s, and that song wasn't really my song, but it just took me back to 90s, R&B stuff. So I just was thinking back, like we were just talking about, thinking back to wearing those silk shirts at the dance.
Oh my goodness! Wow, you just
you know what I was gonna say?
Yeah,
I'm going to. There's a guy Jeff in the comment section. Shout out to Jeff, by the way, for coming to listen to the show. I'm going to disagree with what he said here. He just says Xbox needs a new marketing team. Absolutely not, because their marketing was atrocious from 2013 to like 2018. And then all of a sudden they just turned it on. And these guys are turning it around on themselves. And it's almost like, like how when you watch like 8 Mile and Eminem is making fun of himself and no one can ever battle him, because what are you going to say to a guy who's making fun of himself? That's kind of what Xbox seems to be doing. Remember they were wearing Craig shirts like a month after, like 343 people were wearing Craig shirts a month after that whole fiasco last summer and stuff. So they're turning it around. And the fact that we're talking about this right now means it's working. Advertising and marketing is all about getting people to talk, right? And so what is everybody talking about right now?
Oh, and
Mac,
Mac,
this song.
Mac, and it's got people talking still. It's got people talking. Compliments of the one and only Kotaku. If you guys saw that Kotaku headline.
Yeah. What? I'm not even going to comment on it.
Yeah, that was.
But I'm just saying the marketing is working because it's getting out there. People are talking about it. It's on talk shows. It's on podcasts. It's in Twitter. It's all over the place.
Yeah.
Therefore, they're doing their job. They're doing their job. It doesn't have to be good, but if people are talking, that means it's working.
It doesn't matter if we like it. It matters whether it's getting attention. And and I don't really think it's getting the wrong kind of attention. He said there was people laughing or just, yeah, it was cheesy. I think that was the intention of it. If you take yourself too seriously, that just I don't think that really resonates as much. So this one seemed to get people talking and resonating. Most commercials don't. I mean, how often do you see people talking about commercials? Not very often.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it did what it needed to do, and it got people writing articles. It got the community talking about it. You're right. I mean, whether it was cheesy or not, it did what it needed to do.
It's like I told you, I have my own reasons because I fucking hate that song.
I don't like that song.
So, and I'm just as I'm watching it, because I'm kind of like, again, look, man, it doesn't matter because advertising is advertising. What's up, bro?
I feel you there, because that song, All for One, they make Boys the Men look like Jodeci. Okay, like and that may be over the head of a lot of young people, but all of us old heads know exactly what I'm talking about when I say they make Boys and Men look like Jodeci. Like, they're
that's a
really
great point.
Yeah.
So, but still, regardless of that, I thought it's a good marketing move from Microsoft. Some people are like, it's cringe, it's corny. Yes, it's cringe and corny. Yes, it is, absolutely. But what are you talking about? What are people still talking about?
Right. And that's kind of like like
Mission
the joke that I
accomplished.
made, like about the whole millennial thing, and shout out to the people that actually tweeted me to correct me on that. I'm like, look, I know that millennials know who All For One is. The fact of the matter is, there are millennials who don't know who All For One is. So I can imagine
We're technically
millennials and Gen Zs. Yeah. I
was
love the
7
nerds that
years
come in to
old
correct
when
me.
that came out. So
Yeah, it's like, just because they play it at your family barbecue and your uncle's like, you don't know nothing about that, youngin. It doesn't mean that you know All For One. But the fact is, if you're Googling to find out who it is, or you know who it is, the fact it's advertising, and advertising can be corny. I mean, let's go back. Let's look at like the Kevin Butler commercial. They were hilarious, right? For PlayStation, they were corny, but they were funny.
They were great.
Yeah,
PlayStation.
Yeah, but it's meant to elicit a response, whether it's positive, negative, however you want to look at it. It gets a response, and it's the same thing with. I keep saying to people too, like with the Kotaku thing, like that happened today. It's stop calling these people journalists. That's not journalism. That's guerrilla marketing. And they know exactly what to do. They know exactly the audience that they're going to hit because they fall for it every time. And yeah, it's low hanging fruit, but unfortunately,
It's low hanging. If you grab it, that's your fault.
right. And you grab it every time. And the best way to have it stop happening, stop retweeting it, stop giving them the shine, stop being angry. Because if you're sitting in a circle all angry together, you're not really Kotaku's just sitting back like, well, you clicked on it.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Kotaku's management is looking at Ashley, and they're giving her the thumbs up. Great job.
Yeah, you're quote tweeting her into a bonus.
Right.
So yeah. Or whoever the writer is.
I mean, it really is. It really is.
It was a black woman named Ashley.
Right.
Something. I can't remember her last name.
It's really low hanging fruit too. I actually did have a journalist tell me that, and this goes back to last generation, where and I don't know specifically what websites, but this person had told me that amongst the journalistic community in gaming, if you wanted to get some quick clicks and traffic in your on your website, put out a title that riled up the Xbox fan base. And it like that's because they said they were known for getting upset quickly. That's crazy. Well, it's not crazy but it's just wild that the community has that reputation. Or had that reputation. I don't think they do it.
It's not. I don't think that's exclusive to Xbox fanboys. You're
going
to
say that. Yeah.
You're going to see where it's a thing for any type of fanboy. You can do this with any type of person that has a connection to something that they feel they have to defend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you already saw IGN shift at times, and they kind of hit the Sony fanboys, and they reacted the same exact way.
Yeah.
It's easy. It's fishing with dynamite. It's an easy thing to do, and
Yeah.
And I saw someone today was saying like, well, the headline is cringe. Yeah, it is cringe. And they know that the article is what it is. The article is not like a really bad article. Yeah. But they know half of you aren't going to read it. The other half of you, the other portion of you are going to read it, misinterpret it. And then there'll be a few people who actually get it and don't give a damn.
Mm-hmm.
But the ones who read the headline are going to go off to the races and share the sour milk with their friends. This milk is sour. Smell it.
Right. No, you guys are right. And as somebody who actually writes at Xbox Era and kind of tracks a lot of this stuff. First of all, I do want to just back up a second. When I was supporting the cringe, I was talking about the song, not the article title.
No. I kind of shifted the OBM, but no, I
was like,
my bad. That was a terrible segue shift, but.
I was in the opposite lane of the highway, and it's like, oh shit, cars.
Yeah.
But that is one of the things we talked about it a lot, like at ours, because we really, what you end up realizing, people don't click on your article for the content; they usually click on it for the title, right? That's usually why people share stuff, and we talked about like, hey, let's, we don't want to become that clickbait, that's how we're driving people. And it's like, it's going to take a lot of time to try to do it through content. And that's it is a lot of hard work, but it's like easy, low hanging fruit that, you put out a title and you can even have a good article, but you put out like one of those titles that it's just like inflammatory or,
right.
just basically just elicits that emotional response. That's what's really going to drive your initial traffic. Now, that may not be what gets people to stay. If they start to feel misled, and that's the thing you always got to be careful of if you are a clickbait type of organization. Over time, people are going to you're going to lose credibility, and they're not going to fall for it every time, right? Like you start to get get wise up to that stuff. But
it does riddle away your integrity, but people still do it because they gotta get them clicks in, they gotta get that traffic in, they gotta keep the lights on, and it happens not just in the video game media industry. It happens look, you could take a few months ago when right around the time Zack Snyder's Justice League director's cut that's like 12 years long came out, and right. And you saw all the people with the pro Zack Snyder articles, the anti Zack Snyder articles, that Zack Snyder fan base that love the DCEU, they may be small. I mean, maybe nowhere near as big as the people who love the MCU, but they're dedicated. And they're going to look at that article. They're going to look at your headline. They're going to quote retweet it. They're going to get angry. They're going to do petitions. Meanwhile, you're getting all of that traffic that you needed to get investors to spend more money on their advertising on your website. So, mission accomplished.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It doesn't matter what industry it's in. It will happen like that all the time. It could be sports. No one listens to Stephen A. Smith because he has great takes. No,
he has amazing takes.
No, they listen to him because he says some really egregious things about athletes sometimes.
It's like what does that even mean? I don't know, but it's provocative.
Right.
I don't even know, but it's provocative.
Contradict himself. And within the 2-hour time frame, he'll contradict himself 5 times. But he went from one extreme to another in those 2 hours, and he got so much engagement in all his tweets or on ESPN. Mission accomplished. Like this is people gotta stop falling for it. That's all.
Yeah, that's a great point there, Slow-Mo. I want to grab the super chat from our good buddy Predator H2O. $5 super chat says they are doing what Geico is doing with commercials. Scoop, there it is. Icky Woods getting some cold cuts, Tybo commercial, etc. Oh, I wonder if we'll start seeing some of those things from Microsoft now. Those Geico type commercials, and those commercials are goofy too. Those Geico commercials, but they're catchy. They work.
There's 3 songs that will make me just go insane if they use them.
Thong Song?
I Swear is one of them. No, not Thong Song. Because they're all songs that happen when I work in the music store, and that's all they will play all day long. So the other one would be Here Comes the Hot Stepper.
Oh my God,
and
that song.
The other one is Return of the Mac.
I knew you were going to say. Although I can't figure out how they would correlate that into something with an Xbox service or something what would be returning?
But Slow-Mo, how did they miss
Master Chief?
How did they miss giving DMX that money before he left?
Yeah, how did they miss that? That's an obvious one.
That was
didn't they do that? Didn't they use that though already?
No, Aaron just kind of says it every now and again, but I don't know if they ever used it.
I swear they did at one point, and it was I think it was right. I can't remember if it was it couldn't have been 360 or Xbox One. I swear I thought they used the X Gonna Give It To You song. I swear they used it for something.
I don't remember.
I don't think they had the marketing budget back then.
Oh, okay. That's what it came out to.
If someone were to recommend that back then, they probably wouldn't be working there right now.
I'll tell you what.
I don't know about that one, Dave.
I might have to do a new BRAP intro with instead of Return of the Mac, Return to the BRAP. That'd be great.
My God, fantastic!
Yeah, Return of the BRAP.
If you want to lose your panel, it's perfect.
Oh yeah, I'm out.
Eric's like, I'm out of here.
Those awkward conversations, guys, the show's not really working out with you guys on the show. Just put that as the theme song. They'll leave on their own.
Oh, then there's also Hold My Hand, Hootie and the Blowfish. I'm like really dating myself, but that's when I'm more into music stuff.
dude,
Like,
I don't want to be with
I'm
you.
right now.
So you don't worry about it. I know all the songs you're talking about.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you know, I know all the played out songs too. I used to work in the I used to work in a mall, like was it 93, you know, one of those clothing stores like DJs, remember Mary Brown? Yeah. So like when I was selling my cross colors and jabots and you know,
Oh my God, remember those clothes?
Oh my God, I used to have Jabos.
So Obi, you probably got a lot of Counting Crows. Like,
yes, we did. Yeah, I will say though, there were some hot girls that would come up in there. But anyway, I'm getting off track.
Oh yeah, were you serenading them? Return of the Mac. Was that kind of your go-to? No.
Why do I feel like Enrique's about to beat that shit?
That's where, you know, honestly, that's where I practiced my sales skills was on the ladies. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my God. Oh
Obi
jeez.
walked up on him with a black turtleneck and a chain.
Yeah, I was there.
Girl, if I could rewrite the alphabet, I'd put you and I together. That was his go-to.
It's like if I could pull that off, I could sell anything.
Oh,
you know?
Man.
Yeah, we just went.
What I understand though is
we just went left
what I
here, but-
understand is this might be like a whole campaign that they're planning on doing, like with different artists and stuff like that. So if that's the case, then that would make sense.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, that should be.
They got the money. They could do anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm pretty sure All for One didn't cost a fortune.
I'm sure the boys to men now could use the money. You know.
I don't know. I think Boys to Men financially might be okay. I guess. I mean, are they?
They were touring. They were touring right before COVID hit.
They have
Are
a
they-
Vegas.
Boys to Men is good.
They did the whole show.
They're doing fine.
Are they?
Yeah,
Are
all
they
the
gonna?
housewives went. It was amazing.
So are they gonna?
Okay, Joe, get Jodeci then. That's who's next.
No,
I
you
haven't heard
can't.
them
You
in a long
cannot
Yes.
get Jodeci.
Why not? Why not Jodeci?
Okay, Devontae is missing. He's
Yeah.
been missing for like.
Devontae, is he really missing?
I'm not even joking. No one knows where Devontae is. Okay.
Where's Mr. Dalvin? Is he around?
I know. I think he's still around, but all you could probably get is
Devontae's
Casey and
missing.
JoJo.
He said Devontae's missing. Wow. That's, I don't know why I'm laughing.
No one knows. Look, I have theories, but I don't want to say them on the air.
Oh,
But like, I don't.
You think the brothers Jodeci had something to do with his disappearance?
No. I think he may have ran afoul of some people. I don't know. Look, Devontae,
Ooh,
we
okay,
hope
right,
you're
so-
okay, bro.
Yes.
Wherever you are, but no one knows where he is. Okay, you can't get Jodeci. You can't get the group of four. Like, nah, it's not happening.
Well, you can get Casey and JoJo though.
Yeah, you could probably get Casey and JoJo.
They could do like
I don't know
you know,
if Casey can still sing, but yeah.
Oh, you know what? I don't think Casey can sing anymore, dude. I want to say his
Well, I
voice.
mean, back
I
then
don't
he
know.
sounded like his voice was about to give out too. So I mean, like, you know,
yeah.
much older now. You know. Okay, look,
Devontae's net worth is still $5 million, eh?
We bring up a song, huh?
Devontae's net worth.
Devontae's Swing's net worth is $5 million. He's doing all right.
Yeah.
You know what happened to him?
He wrote a lot of-
As soon as
he
you
wrote
started
a lot of
talking,
songs, man.
I actually kind of want to know what happened to him. Yeah, he's a producer now.
Okay, wait. So one of them is missing.
Is it Mr. Dalvin?
Top 10 missing?
It may be Mr. Dalvin. One of them is missing. That's
It says
all.
right here, Devontae Swing worth $5 million. He used to be a singer, rapper, songwriter, whatever. Now he's an American record producer.
Okay, I'm sorry. Devontae's fine. Thank God. Okay.
He's alive.
Mr. Dalvin, though, I don't know. Look, all I want to know was one of them.
Mr. Dalvin is not missing.
He's not good. This is great.
No one's looking for him. So
The
you
right
should-
Never
Mr.
mind
It's
anything
fine.
I said for the past 5 minutes.
And Mr. Dalvin did fall. Mr. Dalvin did fall off the stage in 2013, though.
Okay, but he
No.
got back up, so that's
You
great.
got back up.
JoJo
Yes,
collapsed.
JoJo
JoJo collapsed on stage.
Oh,
I
shit,
remember
really?
that.
Man,
Yeah.
wow.
Yep.
Yeah, some of our audience right now like, what the?
Wait.
What are y'all talking about?
Wait, real quick. It's Mr. Dalvin. Real quick, Gregor Von Doom says Nintendo should get Cisco to sing "Let Me See That Kong."
Oh boy,
That's actually pretty good.
Not bad.
That's pretty good, right?
it's pretty good.
Let me see that. Okay, let me stop.
Yeah, please.
All right.
Like every single song that comes up, Enrique tries to sing it.
It's terrible.
Is the key word here. Tries. Not
I try. I'm sorry, Slim. I am trying. I am not musically inclined. Well, I can play guitar, but I'm not. I can't sing.
We know. We can.
Yes.
Can you imagine someone dropping into this podcast right now? They're like, oh, let's see what's going on in the BRAP show. And then they sit down and listen. They're going, what the hell are these guys talking about?
Yeah. Who's this guy?
What are you
Like?
talking about right now?
Cisco, Drew hit. What is going on? Like, is this the '90s R&B segment?
What is Sam Goody? What is who's this Sam Goody guy they keep talking about? Yeah. So.
Yo, I want to shout out to Crazy Wong because he actually tweeted me yesterday and said like Microsoft should do something with put them on the glass, so mix a lot. I'm like, yo, if they pull that deep cut out and make something out of it.
I'd be cool with that one. I'll be cool if y'all can make that work with your services, cause you know Sir Mix-a-Lot's down. You know he is. Like,
And slow-mo. Here's the thing: anybody can rock with, Baby Got Back, but to put them on the glass. Oh man. All right. Enrique,
Maybe they can partner with Tone Loc. What about Tone Loc? What about? Oh my God! What about Tone Loc? What about him? Right? He could be another one.
I think
Does he need the money?
Sick, man.
Oh, is he? Oh, never mind. What about LL Cool J? He can come there, lick his lips, and be like,
Why would we want? No.
all sexual and stuff. LL. No.
I don't think they could pull LL. I think LL will be outside the marketing budget for.
How about Puffy? Just come in and just do take that.
Nobody don't want to see Puff, man.
Game Pass. No. Okay, no one wants to see Puffy. All right, so we're gonna move on. Hey, some I actually came across an interesting news item. I immediately thought of you for some reason. But this goes back to PCMR, which is PC's the best platform to play video games. I don't know if you heard about this.
Let me just say real quick. I do not subscribe to PCMR. PC Master. I don't think there is a master race. There is just hardware that's better than other people's hardware. That's all. I don't. Go ahead, continue. My bad.
Yeah. Well, actually, you know what? That's fair. Thank you for
PC the best place to look up what's coming to console.
Thank you for clarifying that. Eric's just hating because he plays the worst version of all games. Look,
not really.
We appreciate you beta testing everything. All the
yeah. So I thought of you, Slimo, because apparently the modding community on PC has, with Mass Effect Legendary Edition, the mods have put butt shots back into the game.
Yeah, we knew that was going to happen.
I mean,
that's why the PC guys were just like, so you changing all the camera angles and flattening Miranda's butt out. All right, fine, we'll fix that. We'll fix that. We'll make it even better. Like they that's the one thing I will say about the PC community. I am equal parts fascinated and horrified about their ability to put mods in games. I always remember laughing at like all the mods they put into Resident Evil 2 remake with what they
Thomas the Train Engine.
Yes, I was about to say they took Mr. X with Thomas the Train.
Oh, the Thomas Train was hilarious. Yeah.
And that was great.
I was in tears laughing at that. Like, it's hilarious. But then you see the outfits that they put Claire in, and you're just like, oh. There's the cringe.
There's a cringe. Well, I would also say this, Slomo. The PC mod community actually is the community that fixes all Bethesda's games. Right?
Yes. For free.
For free.
Yeah.
And I hope that won't be necessary when Starfield comes out, but we'll have to see.
Well, we'll hold our breath for that one, or maybe we won't. But I thought this was kind of funny though. Slim, I thought about you because you play on PC, and actually the same. Okay, so the same person.
Hold on, Enrique.
Yes.
I mean to ask you this.
Yes.
What's the last game you played on PC?
Mass Effect.
Legendary Edition.
Yeah.
Okay. And before that.
What's that? Resident Evil. The Resident Evil 8.
Village.
Village,
okay.
yes, Village.
Making
yeah.
sure. Just making sure, because you talk about PC all the time, and then I don't know if you're playing on PC or not. I just wanted to know. That's great. I'm glad you're playing games.
No, I still play on PC. I've been more recently though. I've been playing a lot of Ratchet and Clank, which looks phenomenal. So it's kind of taking me away from PC. But those are the games that I'm playing on PC or have been playing on PC more recently.
But if you PCMR, why you not waiting to see if Sony's going to release that in a few years?
Because sir, I'm not
double dip.
because
you're going double
because
dip
I'm going to double dip, baby.
Yeah, he's gonna buy it in 2023 when it shows up on PC.
I don't know. Real PCMRs, they wait. They're like, hell with that.
No,
I need
they
the
don't.
best version, baby.
No. I'm not.
I need to put a rivet in a thong, dog.
oh my god!
Jeez, that should not happen. By the way,
I don't want to see it. I
don't want to see that either. I don't want to see a further rear end. That probably will happen.
Probably.
I know. Probably.
It's definitely going to happen. And I dread that so much. Oh gosh, yeah.
The minute they showed Rivet, you had those PCMR dudes like, ooh, the things I can do with that.
Oh, that's not right. That's not right.
It is right.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. That's exactly how they feel.
Yeah, you know what, Mag, I apologize.
Yeah,
I didn't anticipate.
Apologize for what?
That you'd be listening to people talk about rivet in a thong, stuff like that. So,
have you listened to Gaming After Dark?
I have. I have listened to Gaming After Dark. Yes, but.
Yeah, if you listen to Gaming After Dark, this is child's play.
This is child's play. It actually is. Yes, it is.
Nickelodeon time.
Show. Jesus.
Right.
Yeah, this is true.
And plus, Enrique, you started this conversation talking about Miranda's butt.
Well, because it's a news story, and the modder actually. So the modder who took out the butt shots put it back in. So apparently this guy modded or the shots out a long time ago, and then now modded the shots back in for the PC version.
Yeah, so, really, all they really did, if you play Mass Effect 2, all they really did was there are particular times where you have conversations with Miranda, and the camera is just focused on her butt cheeks. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And this probably would not have been, it definitely would have been somewhat of a big deal when the game came out, but BioWare made a big deal about, we changed that because that just wasn't right, or whatever, right? So what they did was they just moved the camera. So in those conversations, and it looks awkward too, because you kind of know what those conversations are. It looks awkward because the camera is like just moved up to like at the bottom is like her waist, and it just looks weird.
Awkward.
It looks like a weird camera angle. Like, why would you even like you're having a conversation with someone? Why would you put the camera here? So it was like a quick edit kind of thing. Which, if someone was going to mod the game, they could easily just put the camera back where it was before or something. It's strange. I'm playing through it on PC. I'm not downloading a mod to look at her butt. I don't care. It's a collection of pixels, man. So,
right.
Yeah, and that's a great point. Just interesting tidbit of information that this is happening. But again, I'm not surprised that this is happening on PC. And then on a side note, Tencent is using facial recognition to monitor kids' screen time. They are taking over the world, Slow-Mo. I'm convinced of that now. I want to get to something that's near and dear to Mag's heart here. Mag, I know you are a big Nintendo fan. I know you eat, live, breathe Nintendo. I know I've seen the Zelda posters, in your bedroom. I've seen you cosplay Mario.
Oh my God, the slander just doesn't end.
And I know without a shadow of a doubt.
This is great. It's not me being butchered on. Let's go.
Yeah. Enjoy it, Forte. It's gonna last for another minute at most. Yeah. Carry on, BRAP.
Just remember, whatever he says, I got your back.
All right, so
yes,
let's get to the big news item of the week. Nintendo finally announced the new Switch, but it's not the Switch Pro that we all thought we were gonna get. It's the Nintendo Switch OLED, which means no 4K. And I'll just run down the features here of the Nintendo Switch OLED. It is an OLED screen. It's a 7-inch screen versus the 6.2-inch screen that's on the current Nintendo Switch right now. So you get additional 0.8, whatever it is, inches on the new screen. Uses NVIDIA custom Tegra processor. It's got expanded storage now. It's 64 gigabytes. Now you can obviously expand that using micro SDHCs or micro SDXC cards up to 2 terabytes. Obviously, those things are sold separately. The biggest addition to the Switch outside the OLED is the LAN cable available, or the LAN port through the new docking station. Again, 720p resolution, but it can do up to 1080p via 8. I can't even talk. Up to 1080p via HDMI to TV mode, which is standard with the other Switch. And I'm not going to go down everything else here, but looks like
there is
nothing else.
I was about to say how you forget about the most important thing. It has an actual stand that it can actually stand on. Now.
Yes, it does have a new and improved stand. I was going to get to that 14, and a longer battery life. Now, this is what's that?
It ain't no longer battery life. It's the same battery life.
No, it's saying that approximately 4.5 to 9 hours, where the Switch was 2.5 to 6.5 hours.
No, the regular Switch was 2.5 to 4 hours. The Switch, the version 2.
Yeah,
version 2. You're right. Yes, I'm sorry.
That one got a
Right.
battery bump. So
You
this
are
one
right.
just
The
included
battery
that old battery bump, right?
Yeah.
So, look, I'm not surprised Nintendo did this. This is what Nintendo does, but I will give my thoughts later. But I really want to get your thoughts, Mag, because we talked behind the scenes on DM, and you seem pretty fired up, I think, because your favorite gaming company maybe didn't deliver the goods. Did you tear down that Mario poster is what I want to know.
Yeah. Let me tell you guys something. First of all, I'm going to apologize to anybody in the chat who's a big fan of Nintendo. I own a Nintendo Switch Lite because that's all they deserve from me. I'm not getting a docked one so I can watch this pile of crap on my 70-inch 4K TV and make it look like a stretched out, you know what I mean? Make it look like a stretched out pile of garbage. Okay, it probably look better on a tube TV. All right, but the thing is, I got a Switch Lite. I got like 5 or 6 games for it. That's about as far as I'm going to go with it. Okay, I'll get Breath of the Wild 2 when it comes out. I'm not really 100% sure. Okay, so I'm not just spouting off anger, whatever. I'm not talking about the games. Okay, so if anybody wants to get all excited, don't get overly excited. Okay, because the one thing I have had confrontation with Nintendo fans before, and let me tell you, some of them are as crazy as those those My Little Pony convention guys, that like those 50-year-old guys who dress up like the My Little Ponies and they go to the hotel convention rooms.
Oh, aren't they called bronies or something?
Yeah, the bronies or whatever. Yeah,
Bronies?
they're just as insane.
Yeah, they
Some of
actually
them.
have a convention in Baltimore, Slow-Mo, believe it or not.
I'm
Yeah,
about
it's a real-
to
it's a
Google
real-
this, and
about
this
a
is
Howard
about to
Stern,
be
yeah, look it
a
up.
big mistake.
Yeah, exactly, man. That's the first time I heard about it was on Stern.
Wow.
Look it up because it's just don't do it. Anyway,
Don't look it up. Yes, yeah. Actually, definitely.
You guys gonna look it up right now. Anyways, here's the thing. Brace yourself. The Japanese business model is going to die. It's going to take a few years. You laugh all you want, because I know right now Nintendo's on top, Sony's on top. Get it? I get it. Okay, but the Japanese business model is going to die. This is one more reason it's going to die. And what's happening is this. For decades, they have been selling us the same shit over and over and over again with incremental upgrades, charging full price, and we've been standing there giggling and pulling out our wallet and throwing money at them. What's happening is this. North America is the #1 consumer spending market in the entire planet. But the video game industry is the only one, except for Microsoft, that hasn't adapted. How do you guys consume your films for the most part, besides the movie theater? Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, Hulu, Crave, whatever the hell else, CBS All Access, whatever the hell you want to go, right? How do a lot of people now in North America consume their music? Do you go out to the store and buy a CD anymore? Or how about the guys that are old enough like all of us who bought the record, then bought the tape, then bought the CD of the same albums? Right? It's done. Nintendo's been doing this since the 80s. You see what they released last year? That 3-game package, okay, of the same 3 Mario games. They did no upgrades. They did nothing to them, and they charged full price. And it was the same crap they released 15 years ago that looked exactly the same, plays exactly the same, and people are dishing out cash for it. But then you know what's going to happen one day? They're going to say, wait a minute, why am I doing this when everybody else is it's like you're sitting there having like your own little like bonfire, okay? And then you look across the pond, and then there's a big foam party, okay? Rave going on with half-naked people dancing, and everybody's going, what the hell's that over there? And they're going to go, oh, that's Game Pass party over there. And they're like, well, what are we doing over here? And they're going to go, I want to go see what's going on over there. Here's the thing. The new Nintendo Switch is $500 here in Canada. Okay? The new one that's coming out this October is $500. Each game here in Canada with tax is $95. Okay? You want to be a smartass? I'll round it up to $100. So if I were to go out and buy this new Nintendo Switch with no, I don't care what anybody says. I'm not going to swear on the show. Last night I did enough of that. No features whatsoever. If you call a 32 to 64 gig upgrade on their hardware a feature, you are out of your mind. If you consider a 720p, first of all, why are you releasing an OLED screen and it's 720p? What is the purpose of this? What is the purpose of the OLED if it's going to be doing 720p with 1080p upscaling on your TV? That is pathetic. And on top of it, they're giving you basically not, and the screen's a little bit larger. Give me a break. You know what's happening right now? Now, if you were a smart consumer, take a look at what's going on and what's coming up anyway with xCloud, for example. Okay, I'm just bringing up the Microsoft thing because I don't care what anybody says. They're doing it right. My cell phone right now has 4K resolution with 120 frames per second on my phone. Same size as the Switch. Okay? And if I'm going to get an xCloud, which I'm already paying for at my house, and I'm going to get that on my phone, I'm going to be playing all these games, not just Mario and Zelda and Mario Party and Mario Kart and Animal Crossing. I could play big, huge AAA titles. Yeah, I'm not going to do that on my phone because I'm a hardcore gamer. You know I'm going to play at home. But there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be playing those things. Maybe you're sitting on the bus. You're going to be playing Halo Infinite multiplayer, okay, while you're going to work or something. Okay, you could be doing all these things. That Nintendo Switch and 2 games is $700 here in Canada. That is, for what they're giving you, is absolutely ludicrous beyond words. It's egregious, and it's utterly insane. If anybody dishes out that kind of money for what you're getting, I'm sorry to say it, you are blind and you're a fool. Because this is how they keep getting away with it. One day, one customer at a time. And this is why I say the Japanese business model is going to die. When you've got Microsoft doing what they're doing, they're going the route of the Spotifys, the Disney Plus, the Netflix, the da-da-da-da. Okay? But then you got Sony, at least here in Canada, in Toronto, they're charging $105 for a PS5 game. Guess how many I bought since launch? 1. The rest of it, what I've been doing is I've been going back to my PS4 games, which, by the way, was an adventure, getting my PS4 games and saves and bringing them over to my PS5, which I own. I bought 1. I'm not buying any other games. I'm going to wait till Black Friday. I'm getting for half price. Okay? So you look at something like that, $700 for that Switch and those 2 games, and what am I going to get? You could buy an Xbox Series X, which is vastly superior technology, and you can have Game Pass for a year and a half for the same price. And how many games are you going to get access to in that year and a half on Game Pass? Versus 2 Nintendo games and that absolute travesty abortion of technology that they've got. That is pathetic. And the thing is, like I said, one customer at a time. But the thing is that people are not ignoring is also you got to understand Nintendo. It's not just gamers. A lot of those people who purchase Nintendos are what, guys? Parents. Okay? Parents of kids. When parents start catching wind of what's going on the other side, they're going to go, sorry, honey, little Jimmy ain't getting that new Switch. He's getting an Xbox, and then we're going to pay $10, $14, $15 a month, whichever one you want to subscribe to, okay, for Game Pass. And guess what? We'll never have to buy a game for the rest of our lives. Problem solved. You can get a Series S for $300, okay? Would you do that, or would you spend $700 to have 2 games that maybe little Jimmy might actually take those 2 games and go, Dad, I'm bored 6 days in. What are you going to do now? You're going to go out and buy another $95 game to make Jimmy happy again? How far is that going to go, guys?
But see, here's the thing, man. I agree
that.
with you all the way up until parents are going to start telling their kids, no, I'm just going to get you an Xbox and get you Game Pass. I don't think they're
happening in my neighborhood, brother.
There are some that will, but I think the vast majority, like we saw it with people spending outrageous sums of money when there were no consoles available during Christmas time, because they gotta make sure their kids get their Christmas gift that they wanted.
Of course,
if their child, I want a Switch. That thing it's more than a Series S, and you get more games. Daddy, I said I want to switch. Oh, it's
no. Of course,
there's a lot of people that's gonna be up and shut. You know this thing is going to sell out like crazy.
It is going to, but what I'm saying is this: as Microsoft is changing the trajectory of where the video game industry is going in terms of how people consume their content, that's why I didn't say now. It's going to take years, okay? But it will happen one customer at a time. One customer at a time, and it's going to keep growing and growing and growing. But what do you see now in the news? Everybody's bitching about Nintendo, and everybody's bitching about Sony's practices. I'm not going to get started on the Ghost of Tsushima bullshit that's going on right now. Okay? I own the game, yet if I want to play on my PlayStation 5 with the features that came baked into my system, I have to pay $50 Canadian for that. You tell me that makes any sense at all. Anybody, please fight me. Come at me. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
Mag,
I'm ready to enter the ring.
It's not just like the features of the PlayStation 5. There's also the DLC too.
What if I don't want the DLC?
Then you don't get it. Then you don't get it.
No. They didn't split it up. It's hidden behind a paywall of something that I don't want to get. Okay, that's the problem. That's my problem. Anyway, that's a whole other story. That's a whole other thing. I don't want to get into that because that otherwise we'll be here until like midnight.
By the way, I dare you guys to look in the general gaming channel of the Discord real quick.
Why? What's going on there?
Those are the bronies.
Oh
yeah, the bronies.
No, you found a brony.
Those are the same people that stayed up for 3 days sleeping in the streets to buy Animal Crossing.
Yeah, look,
right. Well, I would have teddy bears farming friggin' carrots. Anyways,
I would have a great points, Mag. I mean, I agree with some of what you said, and don't agree with some other points you said.
With me, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, not everybody's going to agree with everything I'm saying. I'm just saying that this is asinine, and the thing is, what's going to happen. Sorry to wrap this up. The thing that's going to happen is that people are going to stop. They're going to say, "What the hell are we doing?" You know, people make fun of Forza, Halo, Gears, and and they've been releasing the same Mario games for 40 years, right? Yeah. So I mean, like the thing is, people eventually going to be like, "What the hell are we doing?" As slowly but surely as you saw the record stores, you guys are old enough. You know, you go to the record store on a Saturday, there was 50 people in there. Then all of a sudden, you fast forward 5 years, there were 40 people there. Then you fast forward another 2 years, there were 20 people there. Then 10 people there. Then 5 people there. And then guess what? They're all closed. Okay, and the only way you could buy them is in an antique shop because everybody's buying LPs now because apparently it made a comeback. Right? This is the same thing. I say it's not gonna happen now. People say I'm crazy, but you know what? And Sony's gonna get on board with what Microsoft is doing. Maybe not the same style, but you know they're gonna smarten up. Because Sony ain't stupid. But Nintendo treats their stuff like a toy company, not a technology video game company. Yeah. But the thing is, people
well that's because they are. They're
you have to look across the pond and see what your competition is doing.
But they don't view themselves as
not the competition. They are because they still make video games and you're playing video games.
But they make video games in a different. They don't care, and they make video games in a different way. They don't move in the same direction.
Absolutely, you're right. You're right. But I'm saying, I'm just telling you, man. I own all of them. I have the Switch. I got a PS5, and I got the Xbox Series X. Guess what? I'm not going to buy for anymore. I ain't buying nothing from Nintendo.
Well, you know what go ahead.
Well, Forte, I want to because I want to get OBM was trying to chime in, so I want to get his thoughts real quick, and then because
my thoughts ain't important.
No, your thoughts are, but
Yeah,
That's
basically what he
no,
said,
Forte, but I'm trying to, because he was trying to he was trying to get in, and then
Go ahead,
yeah,
homeboy.
and then you could
it's all good. Hey, Forte.
No, OBM. Go ahead.
Oh, now Forte's feelings are hurt now.
No, it's not. I'm
Yeah,
good.
I mean,
I'll give you back rub later, Forte.
No, it's too late now.
Oh man, yeah, I feel like I gotta.
Now
yeah,
you
so
gotta
I guess-
bring it.
Yeah, now I gotta bring. Can you play my entrance music now since he bag wanted somebody in the ring?
Bow, chicka, bow, wow.
Yeah, no, that's
What kind of
not
intro music that is?
No, and I want to first, like, be transparent, with people. I think I already mentioned it earlier. I write for Xbox Era. I've been playing on Xbox for 20 years as my primary platform. I had all the platforms last generation. I'll have them all again once Forte finds a PS5, and but I still put over 90% of my gaming time there on the Xbox. So just want to be just be honest about that. But despite that, Meg, I do hear you, like, when you talk about like the positioning of like the market. I will say that Microsoft isn't necessarily creating this market. They are trying to be a first mover in kind of where like all of entertainment has gone. It's just, gaming's had to wait for technology to catch up. And so they're putting themselves in a really good position. I do agree with that. However, the one thing like that really stuck out when you said, they got to look and see what their competition is doing. That's like the first thing that jumped out, because when I look at Nintendo, my first question about them is like, who's actually competing with them today? They sold, 30 million Animal Crossings.
Yeah.
What does Microsoft and Sony put out, or any of the big publishers? We just got done talking about all the other AAA, companies that got those massive marketing budgets and things. Like, how many of them are actually putting out content that really is trying to compete with Nintendo? I think one of the reasons they get away with doing what they do, and the reason why their customers keep coming back, is because nobody has tried to compete with them for the last, directly for the last, a couple decades. They found their own lane and they stay in it, and that's why you see collaboration opportunities with them and Microsoft and things like that. The other part, though, is I think a lot of this is like this isn't just a Nintendo thing. I think this goes to one of my earlier points, and it goes to like what I see on Twitter. Everybody's like freaking out because they see the market's changing, and it's like, is my $70 games going to go away because I want to own my shit? This and that. What people don't understand is, the paradigm is changing, and the mix may change, and whoever the first, the biggest company will probably end up changing over time. But the pie itself is growing a lot. Like, it's expected to grow, I think, like 40% in the next 5 years, something like 5 or 6 years. It's expected to grow a lot. That's why Google tried to get in, and why they maybe, who knows if they'll find a lane. That's why Amazon tried to get in. That's why a lot of these companies, why you see Epic trying to create a platform off of, using Fortnite. And all these investors, right? Like, all these companies are putting so much, you hear almost every day, somebody else is investing in another gaming company. Somebody else is starting another studio. It's like, even though we have these acquisitions, like for every one that gets bought, there's like 3 more popping up. And the ones that do exist are getting bigger, and their tools are getting better. And so, like, my point is that this industry is getting so much bigger that it's creating like this rising wave that, Nintendo might have a smaller market share 10 years from now, 5 years from now, but they're still going to be riding that wave. And, even when they study like enthusiasts, and we talk about ourselves as like the gaming enthusiasts, that bubble's growing too. Like, it's not just the casuals that are growing. Like, the enthusiasts are getting people. The longer they're acclimated with gaming, the more likely they're going to become, an enthusiast. And what they find out with a lot of people that are gaming enthusiasts is they're open to multiple platforms if the cost is right. They've done like worldwide studies on this stuff, and like, even looking at the subscription thing, there's probably going to be a number 1 player, but there will be number 2, 3, 4. It's not like a winner takes all. And that's, I think a lot of times people get stuck in this mindset that, like, if you're not first, you're last. And like, Sony's in big trouble. And I hear this all the time too. It's like, hey, Sony's in big trouble. And it's like, no, they're going to be more conservative, right? Like, they're taking their time, but we do see them, slowly pivoting towards meeting gamers where they're at. I don't know what Nintendo's game plan is. Eventually, if they'll probably have to tweak it too, but they still know, but the one thing they do have is that content that nobody else is really trying to compete with them on. Nobody's competed with Mario for decades, and until somebody really comes out and says this is like Zelda but better, this is like Mario but better, I just think that the Nintendo fans will continue to buy the different colored consoles and the different colored Pokemons and all that other shit, like in $80 for cardboard, and it's because Nintendo doesn't compete with anybody. The thing that'll have to happen, I think, for Nintendo to pivot is for Microsoft, Sony, or somebody else to like start actually trying to make content that really competes in that lane, and nobody else has done that so far. So that's I'll take a deep breath now and let Forte talk, because I know he's waited a long time.
No, I want to hear more.
Go ahead, Forte. You got the mic, sir.
I lost my train of thought. I don't know what to say.
Oh man!
Oh my God!
Sorry, Forte.
All right, I think
B about stuff and it'll be fine.
Yeah, I think B Money, you were gonna chime in, man.
Nah, man. I was just gonna say, Nintendo's model is gonna be around for a very long time. Like that fan base, there's a new kid born every day, and kind of like what OBM's saying, there's nobody competing in that market. There's gonna be a new Mario fan, there's gonna be a new Pokemon fan, there's gonna be a new Animal Crossing fan every day, and people will continue to buy their products, regardless of how egregious it may look. When compared to other things, when the kid says that they want a Switch or whatever the next console is that Nintendo puts out, chances are that parent is still going to go out and buy the thing that their kid wants at the end of the day, no matter what Sony or Microsoft or anyone else does to kind of change the market and kind of open it up to get more players to play more games and a different variety of games. If you have a passion for a particular game, chances are you're going to go out and buy that game.
Yeah, no, I mean that's a great point, B Money. I mean, I think the one thing Nintendo has that maybe Sony and Microsoft don't have per se is that in terms of, I think, of gaming, someone said they're a toy company. I forget who that was.
It was me.
That was you. Okay, so
yeah,
they kind of view themselves as that. They don't view themselves as necessarily competing with Sony and Microsoft, because let's face it, if they were, they have this robust online online system, which they don't. They rely for you to if you want to connect with your friends, like a social security number, it's this long number you got to enter. I mean, it's so they for all intents and purposes, I mean, they have this hybrid console out that's really kind of plays to the strength of Nintendo, which has been in the handheld market. But I think the one thing Nintendo has, and why people are, and look, make no mistake about it, this OLED Switch is going to sell gangbusters. This thing is going to outsell every other platform when it releases in the U.S. October 8th. It just is. People are going to either trade their, and I was going to ask you, Forte, if you've gotten phone calls, or I don't know if you were at your store today, but if you had received phone calls about pre-orders, or if you got any kind of idea what the buzz is early on with this announcement.
No, I haven't worked the last couple of days, but my assistant called me and asked me, said, when we gonna take pre-orders on these things? I got like everybody calling asking when we gonna do it. So
yeah, there you go. And it's this thing's gonna sell gangbusters, and they're just I think with Nintendo, they have this magic, if you will, that I don't think Xbox or Microsoft or Sony have just yet. I mean, they have, for God's sakes, they have theme parks, like Disney theme parks with Mario, with Nintendo characters, right? They're just. I mean, look, they do some pretty egregious things at times, but the people support it. There's a market for it, and there's a group of people that want their products, and if you have something that's desirable, people are going to pay for it. And they almost F things up with the Nintendo with the Wii U and how bad that was. But then they came back, they hit lightning in the bottle with the Nintendo Switch. And I do think, back to your point, I think you'll have some people that probably be like, hey, you know what? I may want to go to Game Pass because there's value for my family there. I could see that. But I don't see everyone doing that, because I could see people saying, you know what? There's going to be people that I want my Mario games. I want my Zelda games. I want my Nintendo Switch. I know you brought up, xCloud, and xCloud's certainly an intriguing.
I think xCloud will end up on Switch.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see xCloud.
You know what's interesting, actually? I thought of something while I was between all the ranting and raving. I know some people, whatever, my brain actually does function when I'm yelling. But there is something very interesting, is that it's really good for the hardcore. Okay, people like us, like people in this, on the panel right now, people in the chat that are listening to this. Obviously, we're gamers, right? We're hardcore gamers. This is our hobby. This is what we do. Now, if you like to divvy up your money and everything else like that, right? Actually, the funny thing is that services like Game Pass actually frees up a lot of money that you are able to go out and buy those PS5 games and those Switch games. You know what I'm saying? So it's actually kind of funny, because you realize this fall, think about this fall, for example.
Yeah.
What are we buying? I'm not buying anything. Because first of all, they haven't, well, not nothing, but hear me out for a second. They haven't said that Horizon Zero Dawn is coming this year. Okay, for sure. Anyway, they have not said it for sure. Other than that, what else is there? I'm not getting Battlefield, because I'm still on the fence, because I still think Battlefield is coming out in Game Pass. And if it's not coming out in Game Pass day one, you bet your ass it's going to be on there by January. Okay, because they're going to want to get those, the first month sales or whatever. And look what you're going up against. But everything else is going to be in Game Pass. So PlayStation's got nothing coming out. Okay, they got Deathloop, but Deathloop is also coming out in Game Pass, so I can wait. Okay, like the PC guys, like you guys were saying earlier in the show, they wait 2-3 years. I'll wait a year to play the Deathloop. Okay, not a big deal, because I'll be getting it for free. I'm prepaid on my Game Pass with 2023. So, what am I buying this fall? I ain't buying COD. I heard that's a hellfire disaster, and it's in development hell, and it has been for this whole year. I'm not buying that. So therefore, what am I buying this year? Maybe Far Cry 6, because I still think Dying Light 2 is coming to Game Pass. So therefore, I'm not spending $700-800 in the fall like I used to. You guys remember that? 2013, 14, 15, whatever, 2016. You remember how
you get one free at Toys R Us? Remember that?
Oh my God!
Load up. We'd load up on 9 games every fall.
Exactly. From September to December was that's like the Super Bowl of gaming, right? Like that's where all the games came out, and you would spend anywhere between $700 to $800, even $1,000 if you were that crazy. You could spend I'd spend about $700-800 every fall. Now I'm not. Because 80% of the games I'm going to be playing this fall are on a service that I'm already prepaid for. So guess what that did? That just opened up my wallet, that if I wish to purchase a game on Nintendo, or if I wish to purchase a PS5 game, let's say Horizon Forbidden West comes out this fall, I now have that expendable income to do so. Okay? So, I've had that expendable income anyhow, but I'm also, I don't throw money at everything. It's not a strip club. Okay? I hold back.
You're making it rain.
So... Yeah, no, I don't make it rain for these companies. I make them rain for me.
Woo!
Okay, so they fight for my dollar. Okay, they fight for my dollar. I don't fight to push people over to throw money at them. They got to fight for me. So that's the way I do it. All right, but anyway, the point is that that's what it does. So actually, those services actually open up. So you could see that Nintendo could still. There's a flip side to what I said earlier, is that Nintendo could still flourish under those conditions, because people aren't spending that much money on the other consoles and other ecosystems. Now that frees up money for them to go pay full price for those Nintendo games, because everybody still's got that hankering for Mario every once in a while.
Yeah,
well, think about it even like in TV subscriptions. Like you think about what Netflix kind of did, and it used to be that we all had like these giant cable bills. I don't know if you guys remember.
Oh yeah, dude, hundreds of dollars a month.
Yeah. What do you mean? We used to. I still do.
Dude, I'm subscribed to 5 different services, and it's still only $55.
That's what I'm saying, and it's.
I was paying $200 and something with a cable company. Sorry, brother. Go ahead, Obian.
No, you're right. And like what ends up happening, and that's how these companies will make money in different ways. They're going to do it in scale, and a lot of these companies are going to jump on different platforms in that way. It's just going to be a different model. Like I said, the money that's actually going to go into gaming is supposed to go up a lot. At least that's what the projections are, and maybe all these jillion-dollar companies are all wrong, but that's what they're all predicting, and that's why they're all investing in it. And you're right. Like what happens is like, so I let's say I get Netflix, but HBO only has 1 or 2 shows I want. Well, it's not the same value as Netflix. So if I'm watching a lot of shows on there, but when I kind of rationalize it as, hey, I want it back in the day before Game of Thrones started to really suck, like, hey, I want to watch Game of Thrones, so I'm going to go ahead and spend this money. And it's like, it's not always a relative value. Like a lot of times people just look at it like, I want that thing. Can I afford it? Yeah. And that's really what it comes down to. And that's like what a lot of the predictions are. It's like they're expecting people to be involved in a lot more platforms longer term. And so somebody like Nintendo will have plenty of lanes, and maybe it's not going to be exactly the Switch once once the internet's good enough. I don't know, or devices change, and you don't know where they're going to end up. But I think as long as they have content, and same with Sony, as long as these big companies continue to make games that really separate themselves from everybody else, that you just can't just pick up, easily from some other company, they're going to have something, just like I said, like HBO or why people even run to like that shitty app with Amazon, like to go watch a show. If you get something good enough, people will deal with some of the crap to get there. And yeah, I just don't think it's not. They could lose market share, and probably because they're conservative, and probably because they're not investing like a Microsoft, they probably will lose market share. But that doesn't mean that they're going to go out of business, or that
no, they're not going out of business. I'm just saying the model of the business model can't carry on forever. Not with the way things are trending. And like I said, North America is the largest spending population in the entire world. And the way that they're consuming 99.9% of their entertainment is done through a subscription type service. Okay? You can't say otherwise. You know what I'm saying? So why this one avenue? It can't last forever, assuming that all those businesses, those subscription businesses, continue to flourish and move forward, and that becomes the norm. Then eventually they're going to have to flip it. They're going to have to do something, because they can't keep carrying on like it's the 90s. Okay?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
that always happens. Once upon a time, Nintendo tried to keep on with cartridges, even though that CD-ROMs became the dominant format. They held more memory, more store, more.
Yeah.
Developers could do more with it. It's part of the reason why Square left Nintendo and went to the Sony for the Final Fantasy VII in the first place. Like, you're going to have to eventually get with the times, and Nintendo will eventually get there. Eventually, they all do it at their own pace. We see Sony making deals with Microsoft for Azure, for the back end for cloud.
Nixes.
That stuff is, Nixes. I mean, I think that's more of moving a lot of their content over to PC.
That's what I was thinking too. That's going to be Sony moving their first party games to PC. They're utilizing that company. That's what they're built for, basically, right? Or at least known for.
That's all they've done is port work for Square Enix.
Yep.
A lot of developers for Square Enix, like Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal, that kind of stuff, which that's what they specialize at more than likely. Like, I know there's some people out there who think like, oh, they could be making their own game. I'm like come on, like, you don't acquire a company to do something they've never done before. And you if you want to see if they're capable of doing that, you can take an idea from them that they pitched, then have them do the game you publish, and then later on maybe you'll see if there's someone that you want to acquire. Like, that's been the Sony MO when it comes to first party development and owning first party developers anyway. But this is more likely what they're going to be doing, what they usually do, which is take games that are on consoles, or going to be developed for consoles, and port them to PC. But regardless of that, I think this right now, this video game industry is what we're seeing is so much growth year over year that at one point back in the day, the video game industry couldn't support 3 platforms. which is the reason why Sega isn't around doing that anymore. But now in this century, in this generation, it's definitely feasible. Like all three of these companies are, even though they are having varying degrees of success, they are all profitable in the gaming industry itself. So even though they do have different philosophies, they're all being successful, and I think that will continue. The only thing I think there isn't enough space for additional platforms. So your Stadias, your Lunas, like there just really isn't any bandwidth unless you're doing something completely different than everyone else is doing. And I think that's why you see Microsoft shifting so much towards what they're strong at, services. Doing a subscription service. It's different than what Sony does and what Nintendo does. And they have the built-in infrastructure to support that, as well as a $1 trillion company behind you to give you that upfront money that you need to build it up to the point where it becomes profitable. So everyone can do their own thing in this industry and be successful. It's just whether what you are proposing to the consumer out there is, one, hitting the correct demographic, and two, market it well so that the demographic that you're trying to hit understands what this is and the benefits to it, and three, you're making good games. Because if you're not making good games, it's a wrap. And it has to be games that are unique to your platform that people can't get anywhere else. If you do that, you're going to be successful. Yeah. And so I feel like all three platforms are going to be doing that this generation. Where even though I like the trash Nintendo for not doing anything that ever appeals to me, they know who their target demographic is, and those games appeal to them. And I would never play Animal Crossing, but there are people who act like Animal Crossing is the next coming or whatever. So it's just, it is what it is. It's there's always going to be, I think, these three. As long as they want to be in this industry, they're going to be in this industry.
Yeah. I want to get the super chat real quick.
Thing you ever said.
Yeah, I want to get the super chat real quick from Lord Roughness with the $5 super chat. Says, Mag is making so much sense. There's 2 retired Switches in our house. Son now plays his Xbox One S. Wife now plays Farmville on her phone.
Thank you, Lord Roughness.
Thank you for that super chat, Lord Roughness. Yeah, I think as well said. Oops, hold on here. What's going on?
You still have them though.
My son wants this new Switch, and I just looked at him like.
The thing is, Forte, you just said it. You said they still have them. So do I. But I'm not going to consume the amount of content on there that I would anywhere else. I'm going to treat it like, when you go to that super nice restaurant once a year, okay? You save it for that once a year. You go to that super nice one. That's what it's going to be like. Nintendo, like that.
Well, that's because you're like slow-mo. You grew out of what they are offering you as a gamer. You still have the system. Maybe they'll give you something at a later date that's going to appeal to you. Sure. But as of right now, you're like, there's nothing interesting that I want. But there's but this is the thing. We kind of undersell how many people are just Nintendo gamers. There's a lot of people that just have.
No, that's true.
There's a lot of people that just have it's crazy to me, but some people just have Nintendo as their only platform, and it's a lot. And that's the thing though. The people that do have Nintendo as their only platform, they don't just have one Nintendo platform. They have 3 and 4 of them in their house. And everybody has their own system, and that's where that ecosystem kind of thrives at. Because
everybody has to buy their own games.
And everybody, they don't even let you share them
too. Yeah,
and they actually make money on their console, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, at launch.
You got to do like different steps, but you can do the game share thing. You just got to do different steps. It's not.
Yeah, you also have to have friends, but have you seen what that's like? That's like entering like the 25-digit code to get like a $25 gift certificate.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
heard the margin on cardboard is really, really good.
I'm just saying,
oh, wow.
Nintendo, money will never be the reason Nintendo falls out of favor for people. They will fall out of favor with people is when they are tired of playing their games.
Yeah.
That's when it will happen. But it will never be money, because money has never been Nintendo and spending money on their products has never been a problem. Because guess what? If that has been a problem, we wouldn't have waited 4 years to complain about prices of games still being $60 where their games came out when the release of the system. So the price will never matter. It will always be the games that they release, and they do it. You know, as much as you may not like it, or some people don't like it, they do give compelling games on a consistent basis. It may not be the games you want to play, but there's a lot of games out there that a lot of people look forward to all the time.
Well, it's not just compelling.
Like I always say, man, if you got a console where you can sell 20 million copies of one game, 25 million copies of one game on one console, you're doing something right. So
that's nuts. Yeah, and what I was going to say is they are the closest thing gaming has to the Disney of gaming. For as much as I've defended them today, you know, saying that they're probably fine, I don't give them a lot of my money because I do look at that value thing. It's like funny, like personally, I'm probably more like Bag when it comes to like looking at that value proposition. But I also I just kind of step back and I realize what the market is, and I realize that people do treat them as like the Disney of the game industry, and that's why
they do. They are the Disney of the gaming industry, absolutely. And the thing is, but like, you know, from the value proposition, I don't look at it just from me. I could spend whatever I want. I've got 5 next-gen systems sitting in my house right now. I've got the Oculus VR, Oculus Quest 2 sitting here. I got a PC. I got everything I need. But then when you start branching that out to like my wife, she's got a Series X, my kids got an Xbox, my kids got a PS4, my kids have a Switch now, a Switch Lite. Okay, where you know there has to be a point where you have to be like, okay, guys, you know. And the thing is, what I was saying before, and I understand that not all Nintendo players are kids. I get that because you know Nintendo's been around for 40 years. A lot of those gamers from the 80s have moved up to to our age, into the 40s and that kind of stuff, who are still consuming that content. Great, fine. But, however, someone else did say that a new Nintendo fan is born every day. A new Mario fan will be born every day, whatever, right? Well, those people have parents. They also weren't born with money, okay? Money didn't come out of the womb with the kid. So the parents are paying for that. And when they see that there's other ways to consume products, they may, I didn't say for sure, but they will push those people into other avenues.
That comes
and they'll be like, this kid is 3 years old. They're not going to show him a Nintendo. They're going to show them whatever they want, an Xbox, XCloud, whatever, PlayStation.
That all depends on the content, though.
That all depends on the content.
Absolutely, that's true too. That's true too.
Or they may
like remember. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, or if you know the other thing that you know outside of you know them going, because you got to remember something like and I understand like people talk about the value of Game Pass, right? But you still need to buy a console, right? And maybe at some point that's gone. Microsoft, you know, ditches the console and goes full on dongle or whatever it is, or Amazon Fire Stick, you know, Xbox Stick, whatever you want to call it, or an application on a TV,
or on a Switch,
or the Switch. But there's still a barrier of entry, I think, too. So I would also counter that with, you know, if money's the issue, there's a lot of free to play games on your mobile devices now, you know, and there's a lot of people that can play games that way, and a kid's not going to know any better if they're playing, Candy Crush or
Roblox,
Angry Birds, Roblox, you know, or Fortnite. I mean, and that's what I'm saying. I think to OBM's point about various business models and the pie growing so big, while I understand how we consume is changing, I think that you'll see various business models still thrive, and I think this is what you were saying, OBM, because you got to remember, we still have free-to-play games, but not everyone's gravitating to free-to-play games because not everyone sees value in that content. You know, people are still going out and buying $70 games. People are still going to go buy it, and I understand, like, you know, music's changed. We have Spotify. You know, I don't go out and buy CDs anymore. But I think the biggest difference there is that, you know, you didn't have Sony. Well, maybe Sony's a bad example because they were in the entertainment and the music industry, making, you know, artists and then selling CD players. But, you know, you didn't have like, you know, CD manufacturers or CD player manufacturers creating specific content exclusive to that CD device or that CD player they were selling you. I think gaming's a little bit different. Right. The value's in the fact that, hey, we've got this piece of hardware where you can only experience this specific content, this franchise. And I think people identify with those brands, right? Those franchises. Because I say Mario is a brand. Zelda is a brand. Master Chief is a brand. Forza is a brand.
Pokemon is a brand.
Pokemon's a brand. The Last of Us is a brand.
Talking about Pokemon.
So
Jesus.
As long as people see value in that, they're going to continue, I think, shelling out money. And we're seeing that right now, Now, I think that the model will change? I think, eventually I think I could see like Nintendo and, well, maybe not Nintendo, but I could see Sony certainly pivoting. Maybe not.
Disney. Look at what Disney did. Remember how antiquated their model was, where they
pivoted.
Put out a CD or a DVD. I'm sorry, and then they take it off the market.
Years.
Yeah, do some stupid shit like that. And now they're doing Netflix, and they got 100 million plus subscribers and like.
Okay, so thank you very much. So you just proved my point that at some point, if Disney can do it, who are the most rigid, stiff corporation in the world, buckled and did it, then Nintendo can do it too.
Oh, Nintendo can absolutely do it.
Well, I don't think anybody's saying they won't do it at some point.
That's what I'm saying. They're 5 years, 10 years down the road, but it's going to happen because they're going to have to buckle to the pressure of the North American market and the way that we consume our entertainment. That's all I was saying.
I think
screaming and shit, but
No, I think if they look, I think they'll change if their bottom line starts taking a big hit.
Their bottom line, exactly.
And that's the thing.
What will happen is due to happen because Nintendo can't be consistent. They hit on a console and then they miss on a console.
That is also true.
That's true.
Yeah.
They have done that.
The next console will be the Switch E. Or whatever
the
heck.
Switch E.
You know what the next is this a new thing? What is this? I thought I already had a Switch, and then it won't sell, and they'll be like, "Well, what happened? I don't know."
I'll tell you guys what's going to happen is that the next Nintendo console is going to be the Switch Pro. That's going to happen, and I think the OLED's going to be the baseline moving forward once they announce the Switch Pro.
That makes so much sense that it won't happen, Enrique.
My problem is still the price. $500 for this thing? Like, come on, man. I mean, $500 for me. And the games are $100, man. $95 a game.
Trade in those old ones, man.
Yeah, that
I'll buy games that I like. You think I'm going to buy a game that my kids want? And then, like I said, 2 days later, they're like, Daddy, I'm bored. What do you mean you're bored? $95, you better put in 30 hours into that game. You know what I'm saying? I want 100% completion. Otherwise, you're not getting another one. They don't lose their value.
I want to see.
So that's incredibly expensive.
That's hilarious. I want to see complete. I want to see trophies.
Play more games.
I want to see trophies completed.
Yeah, I want to see trophies. I want to see the 100% completion. Otherwise, you're not getting that next game. Okay, Donkey Kong can sit on the shelf.
You got to be walking around here like a zombie in a week in order to get another game.
Yeah. So you guys don't think they'll do the Switch Pro? Then you don't think that's going to happen?
Oh, I think
I think they will. I'm waiting for Nintendo to be Nintendo. I'm waiting for them to do something to, instead of doing the no-brainer thing, they go completely left field and make everyone go, "Why did you just do that?"
Well, I think all the people that would have made it go left field are kind of not there anymore.
And I think that the video influence is going to kind of keep them in line as well.
Yeah, it seems like I bet Bowser. It just seems like Bowser has it heading in a direction that he kind of understands what actually Nintendo is. That's why I said when I looked at the Switch OLED, I was like, oh wait a minute, hold on, they are literally just doubling down on handheld, and a lot of people have been saying that for years. Ever since the DS became such a phenomenon, it's like, yo, Nintendo just double down on what you're really good at, and seeing them increase the bigger screen, LED screen, OLED screen, and then bigger memory. All that stuff is tied to people being on the go, and that's where their system is going to shine the most. And they're never going to compete with Xbox and PlayStation when it comes to the home console anymore. They found a way.
They don't need to compete, but to continue to enjoy the third party developers making their platform more diverse by putting their games on their platform. They're going to have to increase the power of their console, not to be on par, but just to kind of keep up. Because as of right now, the gulf of difference in power between the Nintendo Switch and the Xbox Series X or PS5, no, that's a Grand Canyon difference right there. And when last gen stops being supported and these games are coming out, a developer that would have loved to port his game over to the Switch to enjoy that 80+ million subscriber base isn't going to do that because he can't find a developer to port that over and to put all the work in they're going to have to put in order to make it playable on a console that can't perform it anywhere near the capability and probably won't sell as well due to that. So they're going to have to actually do something to keep up, which is probably the Switch Pro, probably. But I'm just waiting for them to just do something stupid because it's Nintendo.
Yeah, but they got 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
We gonna keep getting these games on these consoles for at least 2 years.
Yeah, they got 2 years to come out with a Switch Pro.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you got to think they got two of the biggest free-to-play games on their platform when it comes to Fortnite and Apex Legends. So
that's kind of the Switch has Apex Legends.
Yeah,
they have it. They've had that for a while.
Had it for like since May or March.
I would never. I'm sorry that
you would never. I
would never play Apex Legends on a Switch.
Why not?
Why not? It's a bunch of people doing it.
Okay, more than likely my Switch will melt, like ice cream on a hot summer day. Okay, like that's one. 2, the performance is absolute garbage, dumpster juice bad. Like it's a dead body floating in the river bad. Like it's stinks. It's awful. And look, I played Rogue Company on my Switch a couple years last year when I was on vacation. Not only did I try it with the Joy-Cons, which was a mistake because the Joy-Cons are the worst thing ever created, but I had to put it down and pull that little toothpick of a kickstand out and sit it down and get my Pro controller because it was so hot. It was burning my hands.
Oh my God,
that's how bad the Switch is. Anytime it tries to play anything that is on par with games that are playable on an Xbox or a PlayStation, that thing runs so hot. It's just like, look, I'm sorry, like it's.
I mean, it looks like PS2 graphics, but it's there.
It needs liquid cooling.
The performance is awful, man. Look, even the games that I loved, Fire Emblem 3 Houses back in 2019, that was my game of the year. Game of the year.
That game ran hot too.
That game, when you're at the school, running around the school, the frame rate was just going up and down, all over the place. Sometimes it would chug to single frames. Come on, what is this? What is this? The game shouldn't be demanding. What the heck is going? Like, your hardware is this bad. Imagine how much worse it's going to get. They have to. They have to do something about this.
They're going to come out with the Switch Pro. It's going to come out, man, next year. I'm calling it 2022 Switch Pro. You watch.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because you're right. They got to address it, right?
They're going to lose too many indie developers over time. They make a lot of money off those if they don't get.
I think they just want to stay in. I think they just want to stay in shouting distance. Normal.
Yeah.
And that's their lane. We have our own kind of content that people come to us for, the kiddie stuff, the Animal Crossings, the Marios, the Zeldas, all that trash. I'm sorry, it's trash.
No, but all those games sell more than all the games that you
exactly. There's a market for it, so of course they're going to continue to keep making that. The underlying market that makes this Switch different than even the Wii, because the Wii sold a lot of consoles but didn't sell a lot of software because nobody was trying to make content for those little Wii chucks, right? So the Switch is different where it gets that secondary software revenue market from all the other games that sell there. In order to continue to keep doing that, they got to stay within shouting distance. That's the best way to go about it. No, we're not going to be as powerful as a Series X, but maybe we can give you some Series S, some Series S kind of performance on these games.
Hey, Slow-Mo, I just want to make just make you aware that Mr. Xbot in the live chat says, Slow-Mo, you always capping. That's Mr. Xbot.
His name is Mr. Xbot.
Yes. The irony of that, by the way.
You gave yourself an L when you made your name. I don't have to say anything else.
Is that Forte's sock account?
Because I did a show with him last night with Xbot. Yeah, and I was just gonna I can't get into what I said because it was pretty raunchy, but yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I got into it with him. And I'm like, dude, your name is actually Xbot. You cannot call yourself King Neutral.
No, he cannot call himself King Neutral. And now he tries to play it off like, it's just a play on words. I'm being sarcastic. No, you're not.
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
That's like me calling myself Pony Slave 420 and be like, no, I'm neutral. I'm neutral. I don't love only PlayStation behind closed doors.
Yeah.
Don't you love those guys on Twitter when they come at you and they're just like, I own all the platforms. I care all about them equally. And you check their profile, they got a PlayStation banner. They got like an Xbox. There's green X's all over the place.
I do not I don't confront guys like that. Especially when they come after you. It's not even worth it because I'm like, some guys, it's funny when I say something negative about Sony or whatever, and then I'll ask them, just ask, be nice, and I'll just be like, do you have a PlayStation 5? And be like, no. I got 2. And usually that's where the conversation ends. I'm not bragging. I'm not bragging.
You're flexing a little bit, Mag.
Well, a little bit. But the thing is, I got it, and I'm playing them, and I'm in that ecosystem. Well, I'm not allowed to, criticize. I'm in the Nintendo ecosystem. I just crapped all over them for like 20 minutes. I'm allowed to criticize. I'm not being a fraud. I got it, and I got games for it, and I'm in there, and I'm playing them. I'm just saying how I feel or how I feel the market's going or whatever, right? But there's a lot of guys out there, man, who have just one of whatever and then just crap all over the other ones because they don't got it. They're not into it or whatever. And I'm like, well, that's not fair. I don't think that's a fair thing to do because you're not in there. You can't, if you haven't experienced it, I don't think you have personally, I don't think that you have the right to criticize unless you've experienced it yourself. That's like saying a movie's trash and you didn't see it, but you heard your buddy say he didn't like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see a lot of that. Yeah.
And this is why I get on Nintendo because I sold my Switch because I said this provides me nothing. And people like Defloid, I agree with Defloid. Defloid the chat says I'm convinced Joy-Cons were made for raccoon paws, and I agree. I absolutely agree. Raccoon paws and toddler hands.
That's the best thing I heard all night.
That's seriously the best thing. Let me tell you.
Dude, have you seen grown men? Have you seen grown men trying to play with those things?
Oh yeah,
it is
I'm one of them.
Yeah, Mag at the basketball court and on a rooftop party.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, I played NBA 2K, right?
Yeah.
Their commercials are great. Commercials are great.
Yeah. Well, look, gentlemen.
So unrealistic.
Yeah. Look. By the way, big shout out to Def Floyd with the best comment of the evening in the live chat. But we are past the 11 o'clock hour. And BRAP does need to go to bed. BRAP has to get up early and go to work, which really is just rolling out of bed, getting the kids breakfast, and then walking downstairs into my man cave and firing up the old laptop. So I'm going to give a big shout out to, first of all, everyone in the live chat that came out and hung out with us this evening. Really appreciate the support and the time. And, live chat's always positive, always great seeing everyone here. Please hit that like button if you haven't done so already. If you're new, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you're alerted when we go live. But I want to give a big shout out to our big Nintendo super fan here, Mag, for coming up.
Yeah, man.
No, I'm just joking. Everyone, I'm joking. He's not a super fan of Nintendo. Not today, but he will be one day.
Yeah.
Once they have their own version of Game Pass, maybe, right?
Somebody to Photoshop a raccoon with a Switch in his hand. I need that now.
Yeah,
someone's got to do it. Someone will do it. You put it out there into the wild. You watch. By tomorrow, Twitter, it'll be on there.
Oh, it's gonna go viral. Yeah. But no, all jokes aside, Mag, I want to say first of all, man.
Yes.
Awesome having you on. Seriously, man. Always a pleasure having you on.
It was a pleasure, brother.
Yeah, appreciate the insight.
It was an absolute pleasure to be here.
Absolutely, man. We definitely need to get you back on again sooner than later. But please let everyone know where they can find you.
I will keep it brief because it is very late. Yes, I got to be up with my kids too. So, but guys, remember, at the end of the day, anybody who listens to this after the fact or listening to it live or whatever, not agreeing with everything I'm saying, that's the way it is, you agree to disagree about a lot of things. That's the way it goes. And at the end of the day, we're just having a conversation. We're having a show. So let's all keep it positive. Let's have a good time. Go out there and do what we're supposed to be doing, man. This is our hobby. This is what's supposed to be making us happy, right? Is gaming. So let's keep it happy. Let's keep it positive. But anyways, guys, if you want to follow me, I'm on Twitter at the Middle Age Game Guy. That's with a GY at the end. And of course, you can find me on Monday evenings, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Mr. Boomstick XL and friends on Primetime Gaming. Tuesday, you can find me 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Noof Nukem and Titan Drago on Gaming After Dark. You caught me here tonight. Every once in a while, you'll find me on Crossfire whenever Mooch invites me. And you can follow me there. And actually, anybody wants to follow me on the Xbox Series X or the PS5, all one word, all capitals, I am the Mag. That's with 2 G's at the end. But anyways, BRAP, Enrique, panel, chat, you guys were all awesome. It was a great show tonight. It was a lot of fun. We'll see you guys all real soon. Have a great night.
Awesome, man. Appreciate it again, Mag. And also want to say thank you to our other guests, OBM, One Bad Mother. OBM, let everyone know they can find you, man.
Yeah, sure, man. Thanks again for having me on, Mr. Forte. I do apologize for taking any of your.
Oh no, you're fine. It's not your fault.
Don't apologize to him. He doesn't need it.
I'll bring you a copy.
That's so mean. Don't apologize.
I'll
So
stop by your
cruel.
GameStop and bring you a copy and harass you why you haven't found PS5.
That's okay. Your PlayStation should be here very soon, sir.
But no, it's always fun, man. I always enjoy coming on the show and talking with you guys. It's all I think we always get a lot of perspectives, and it's a good time. If anybody wants to find me, you can find me on Twitter at One Bad Mother at mother_1. Besides that, I do a lot of stuff for Xbox Era, so I'll just tell you to go there. Go to Xbox Era. We got a website. We put out a lot of content. We do have some forums that are pretty busy. So a lot of good gaming conversations in there. Come and check us out over there. And I actually recently just put out an article on acquisitions in the industry, since there does seem to be a lot of panic from some gamers. I don't think there should be, but go check it out and tell me if you think I'm wrong. So, thanks again, guys. Look forward to the next time.
All right. Yeah. Appreciate that. Appreciate the time again, OBM, man. I know it's kind of well, I wouldn't say it's at the 11th hour. I did speak to you earlier today, but no, always appreciate the time, man. Yep. Also, my man, Eric Jackson, the voice of reason. EJ, let where they can find you, man.
Yeah, another good show. Thanks, Mag and OBM, for coming through. Great conversations. But yeah, you can find me, EC Jackson with an X, on Twitter. And other than that, you can find me on the Gaming Perspective podcast, Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock.
Awesome, man. And my man, B Money 101. B, always a pleasure. Happy you woke up in time for the show, man. But appreciate you coming on as always, man.
Yes, indeed. So it was great to be here. Appreciate OBM and Matt coming through. We had a great show tonight. And you can find me everywhere. Same name, B Money 101. And we'll see you guys next week.
Yep. Awesome,
I think B missed my impersonation of him.
I think he did too. I think B
did.
Huh?
I think he caught
I did.
Oh, you did? You didn't say anything.
No, I didn't hear you.
Oh, you did miss it. Okay, yeah, but
Go
it was great.
Go back to 9:25, and you'll hear it.
It was spot on, man. I'm telling you, like I captured the bass. You know, that gravitas in your voice. You know, I made sure to bring in 2K. You know, I talked about 2K, and it was great. It was great. You guys check it out.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. On that, it was we got my man Slow-Mo Backslap. Slow-Mo, you and Gaming Forte have a show coming up tomorrow. TPS Podcast, 9 p.m.
Yeah.
Please let everyone know what channel that's going to be on, because I know you guys alternate, but also let everyone know they can find you, man.
It will be on my channel, Slow-Mo Backslap, and we have a special guest coming in. Forte, who's that special guest again?
Mike Miotti.
Yeah, Mike Miotti from
nice.
Venture Beat / Games Beat will be joining us. We're going to be discussing some pretty good topics. So come through 9 p.m. Eastern on my channel. We're going to have a good time.
Awesome. Yeah, Mike's an awesome guest. That's going to be a great show. Yeah. And then we got, last but not least, we have Gaming Forte. Forte, I'm going to rub your feet later on. Let me know where they can find you.
God, stop it.
I got them on the table. I'm waiting for you to.
You gonna put on some Jodeci?
Ooh, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, great show, guys. Mag, always good to do another show with you. Miss doing them on Mondays with you, man.
Yeah, brother.
Always a pleasure to have One Bad Mother in the house, and then the rest of the BRAP crew. Check us out, DBS Podcast tomorrow on Slow Mo's channel, and Gaming Forte everywhere, YouTube, Twitter, Xbox Live, and PlayStation. Have a great week.
Yeah, everyone, I do have a great weekend, or rest of the week and weekend as well. Maybe doing a BRAP rant this weekend as well, so keep an eye out for that. If I do, I'll put it out on the Twitters, let everyone know that I'm doing it. But other than that, great show as always, gentlemen, and we'll catch you next week, Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. On that note, we're out. Enjoy playing video games and eat tacos.
Fish tacos.
Fish
Raccoon
tacos.
paws.
And go by Eric Jackson's house and light off fireworks. We're out.